Thank you very much, Dan. Just awaiting the arrival of the two teams out onto the pitch. It's a quarter-final matchup that many would say would not look out of place if it was the final itself. These two teams who have only conceded one goal between them at the tournament so far, but one of them is going home tonight. The other will progress to the semi-finals with either France or Iceland awaiting. But of these two heavyweights of world football, something's got to give tonight. This is going to be a proper game of football, Kevin Kilbane.
Proper game. You sense it, Conor. When we arrived here, about 3 or 4 hours before kick-off, you know that you're coming into a cold, and you know that the atmosphere outside's building. Both sets of supporters mingling great, but this, Conor, this is a game and a half. This is the game that, you know, it's a pleasure, it's an honour to come to, and you're seeing the both sets of supporters on fire this evening, and we're hoping that can transcend onto the pitch, because I'm expecting fireworks on the pitch.
Italy have won 2 and lost 2 at this stage in the past. Germany have never lost in the quarterfinals at a European Championships. This is their 6th time playing at this stage. 5 wins out of 5 so far for the Germans. And the team news then, with De Rossi having failed his fitness test, and into the middle of the midfield tonight will be Marco Parolo, who has been playing wide on the right, the Lazio midfielder. It's a big step up for him, with Stefano Sturaro of Juventus coming in on the right-hand side. Emmanuel Giaccherini, the other midfield player, in what is going to be a very congested central third of the pitch this evening, with Sami Khedira and Toni Kroos and Mesut Ozil all trying to occupy that space as well for the Germans. Here come the teams walking out onto the pitch, and I'm very glad to say, in this day and age with kit manufacturers and team swapping jerseys, it's Germany in white, it is Italy in blue. This is not a game to mess around with the colours.
No, it certainly isn't, Conor. Just going back to your team you mentioned there, of course, with Sturaro coming in, it's just a bit more energy in the side, isn't it? A bit more youth. So, you know, of course, they're going to miss De Rossi with his experience, but I think Sturaro tonight is going to be reliant upon to as maybe Rafa Honestein just spoke about before, with the energy and the willingness to run.
Well, it's already been a very busy day on 5 Live Sport. Novak Djokovic out of Wimbledon. Mark Cavendish wearing the yellow jersey at the Tour de France for the first time. Lewis Hamilton will be on pole at the Austrian Grand Prix tomorrow. But we hope we are saving the very best until last for you here. This is a true heavyweight battle. Germany and Italy, and the Germans incredibly, and we cannot say this stat enough really, and maybe it won't be a stat anymore after tonight, but Germany have never beaten Italy at a major tournament finals. This is the 9th occasion, and hopefully it's going to be an absolute cracker. You've got to go back to 2004 for the last time Germany failed to reach the semi-finals. That was the year they failed to get out of the group in Portugal, but normally, as we know, they are always there or thereabouts when these tournaments are to be reckoned with. And you look back since the World Cup in Brazil and lifting the World Cup, and Germany have been far from indefeatable. You know, they've lost a lot of games since the World Cup, but they saved themselves for the big ones, and no denying, Kevin Kilbane, this is a very big one.
Yes, it was quite a slow start to the campaign, the qualification from their own point of view. I think they just about got over the line against Scotland at the start of the campaign after the World Cup. Of course, losing to Poland, they lost to Republic of Ireland through qualification. So it's not been as plain sailing as it's been for the Italians through qualification. But I would say, out of the two sides through qualifying, Germany played better football than Italy. Italy at times it was a bit painful to watch, but they got the job done. But since coming to the Euros, Conor, they've been outstanding, haven't they, in the 4 games? We'll maybe take the Republic of Ireland result out and performance. Apart from that, they've been brilliant.
So we'll keep our eye very much on Joshua Kimmich, the Bayern Munich defender, in the early stages here. Is he going to play on the right of midfield, or will he be a right wing back? It'll be Manuel Neuer in goal, the captain, of course. Hobedes, Boateng and Hummels, with Hector wide left, Kimmich wide right, Khedira and Toni Kroos in the centre, Thomas Müller, Mesut Ozil and Mario Gomez up front. And here inside the stadium in Bordeaux, in memory of the victims of a terrorist attack in Bangladesh, there is going to be an expression of solidarity Members of the Italian nation losing their lives in that attack in Bangladesh, and for the Italians and in sympathy with them now, well, they called for silence, but it will be applause inside the stadium in Bordeaux. So here we go then, inside this futuristic looking stadium, clean white pillars on the outside, and inside plenty of dashes of colour, with the Italians in blue, most of their fans housed away to our right hand side. The German contingent who've been filling the air with noise inside the city centre, singing their songs, spilling onto the streets, very much adding to the atmosphere. There's been a good, jovial feeling around the place ahead of this one, but now the battle commences. Germany are going to get the game started. Mario Gomez plays in Besiktas nowadays. He starts it, and Khedira to the near touchline to Kimmich, back to Hovedes, and back in field once again to Boateng. So Italy lining up with Buffon in goal, Barzagli, Bonucci, Chiellini. The BBC, the three central defenders from Juventus, with Romas, Florenzi on the right hand side, De Scelio of AC Milan on the left, Parolo in the hole with Storaro and Giaccherini ahead of him, and Eder and Pella the two up front. First ball played forward from Germany towards the edge of the Italian penalty area. Barzagli gets up and wins it, and Germany regain possession again and get it down on the deck.
Yeah, both playing the same system, Conor. Certainly didn't expect that from Germany coming here this evening, but it's obviously the respect that Joachim Löw has put in his side, or certainly for Antonio Conte's Italian side.
Hector back to Ozil, crosses from the left hand side, headed away on the edge of the penalty, the edge of the 6-yard box by Leonardo Bonucci. Again, very forward thrust there by Jonas Hector, the left wing back, who is very often put into those crossing positions. The games I've seen him so far in the tournament, he's not delivered too many crosses at the end of it. On that occasion he turned, gave it back to Mesut Ozil, who did deliver into the penalty area, but Bonucci was there to clear away. Here is Mats Hummels on his 50th international appearance. A back heel by Hector just gives possession straight to Barzagli, and he clears it away for Italy.
Yeah, we heard from Gianluca Vialli before the game, Conor, and I saw an analysis he did on actually Italy in one of the group games. I think it was actually the Belgium game, and it was more surrounding about the very little space between the lines of defence to midfield to attack. They become very compact, very narrow, and you can see it immediately at the start of this game. It always becomes a 5-3-2 system or 5-3-1-1 system. It's very difficult to break down and get any space between those Italian defensive lines.
This is 5 Live from the BBC. If you're listening to us on the radio, maybe you're on your way home. Once you get home, if you turn on the television, if you've got the necessary technology, you can listen to us via the red button commentary, perfectly in sync with the television pictures on BBC One. Here is Jerome Boateng, once of Manchester City. Germany playing from left to right as we look down. The white shirts, dark shorts, white socks. Germany with most of the possession so far. Back to Boateng, who spreads it to the left hand side to Hummels, who's already 10 yards inside the Italian half. Hector gets a touch. Back to Hummels once again. Pressure being put on him, but he'll turn, and under pressure from Storaro gives it all the way back to Manuel Neuer. Significant cap for him as well tonight. 70th international appearance for Manuel Neuer. Mind you, it pales into significance compared to the other goalkeeper. For Gianluigi Buffon, this is international cap number 160.
Yeah, Gianluca Vialli, another we said before the game, asked which keeper would choose, and of course he's going to go for Gigi Buffon, but I think Manuel Neuer is the best in the world. Tremendous goalkeeper, all round, everything, his ball playing, he can actually dictate play from a goalkeeping position. He steps in, he plays, but his shot stopping as well. We've seen him, and his command of his penalty area in this competition has been truly remarkable.
Ball out of play on the far side, some dispute over which direction the throw-in should be. The officials say it's for Italy. For Buffon, this is his 11th senior tournament. He was an unused squad member at France 98, the World Cup, when it was held here in this country. When Italy played here in Bordeaux against Chile. Germany playing in Bordeaux for the first time. The throw-in taken on the right-hand side by Storaro. Tries to send in a cross, and it deflects off a defender and out for a corner. It's the first corner of the game off Jonas Hector. It's a chance for Italy.
Quite slack from the throw-in there, Germany in the corner. They've just actually gifted Italy this corner. No pressure on the ball. The cross was easily allowed to go into the area from Florenzi.
Crowded penalty area awaits. Germany have brought all 11 men back behind the ball. It's a low one. Eder jumps over into the front, put back in by Storaro, but off target and out for a goal kick to Germany. 0-0 here on 5 Live.
Sorry, Conor. Off balance, wasn't he, Storaro, there when the ball's come out to him, but that's what Conte has done through this tournament as well. They've worked little routines on corners, on wide free kicks. Certainly expect them to do that again.
Stefan Sturaro, very inexperienced at this level. He's a hard-working midfielder. He's 23 years of age. He only had 2 caps to his name before he started against the Republic of Ireland in the group stage. Here he is, his 4th cap, and he is playing and starting against Germany in the European Championships quarter-final. Eder gets a touch back into midfield for Parolo, for whom much is expected tonight. Picks out Giaccherini in the penalty area, swivels, shoots, blocked off Boateng. Italy have their second quarter.
Well, that's the press that Italy like to do when Manuel Neuer is about to take the goal kicks. Always want to play out from the back, but Italy locked on 4 against 4, not allowing Neuer to play out. He's had to then clip a difficult ball out towards Ozil. It was on the left hand side. Ozil lost it, and then once it comes to Giaccherini, he gets his strike away. That's where so much of Italy's attacks have come from, on that counter attack. When they win it back quickly, they've got players then in advanced positions to go on the attack.
5 minutes played, 0-0 here on 5 Live. No real urgency from the Italians to line up this corner, and now they've rolled it short. Germany trying to push out. Barzali midway inside the Germany half, sends it over to the far touchline where Chiellini is offside. And more evidence of just how well drilled and organised this German defence is, just all stepping up and catching 1, 2, 3 Italians offside.
Yeah, clearly offside. I mean, again, we spoke about it, change of systems sometimes, it can be confusing for players. They're not in sync with each other, but German side well drilled, everyone stepping up together, playing Chiellini offside. Good defensive shape to Germany there.
Giaccherini gives it back to Chiellini. Giaccherini, who is still a Sunderland player, he's been playing on loan at Bologna this past season, did well for them, got his place in this starting Italian team at the tournament. Good play from Parolo in midfield, and then Pella tried to flick it on, looking for Eder on the far side. Well, that's intercepted by Jonas Hector and helped back to the goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. Germany 0, Italy 0 in the third of the quarter-finals. France will play Iceland tomorrow. Full commentary on 5 Live. Here come the Germans. Sami Khedira, long strides to the edge of the penalty area, flicked it in. Parolo, that's what he's in the team to do, just disrupting. Muller falls to his feet, still tried to rectify some sort of cross, but there was no accuracy on it, and Italy are able to clear away.
Well, that's the problem, Connor, when the press doesn't quite work for Italy. Everyone pressed up forward. If you can get a pass past the initial press, once it went into Mario Götze up front, good little interplay with Thomas Muller, and then you're beyond them, and then all of a sudden you create a 4-on-4 situation.
It's not the largest stadium at this tournament, just over 40,000 people, but a lot of noise in here in the early stages. Italy in possession with Mattia De Sciglio, tackled by Thomas Muller, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Italy. And Muller, who is hoping to finally break his duck at European Championship finals tonight, this phenomenal record at World Cups over the years, 10 goals, 6 assists in 13 World Cup games. He is still yet to score at a European Championships finals. Could it come tonight? Here is Benedikt Höwedes, plays the ball infield to Jerome Boateng, steps into the centre circle. Italy back off him. The ball is to the near side to Joshua Kimmich, who Pep Guardiola converted from a midfielder to a right back. Tries to play it into the penalty area, too far in front of Sami Khedira, and that harmlessly goes out for a goal kick to Italy and Buffon, who's wearing bright red tonight away to our right hand side.
Yeah, good movement ahead of Kimmich there. So it was Khedira just making that run. He sees or sensed that one or two of the Italy players was pressing. He then run beyond them, and that's the sort of chances we might see tonight, Connor. It might come from a midfielder prepared to get beyond the attack, and he might get in because both sides are looking to press early and high.
Eder beaten to the ball by Toni Kroos. Here on the right hand side is Joshua Kimmich, and back into the centre circle once again, and the ever available Jerome Boateng. Early to the feet of Ozil, back to Hummels, back to Boateng once again. Germany will now look to come down the right hand side. Benedikt Höwedes, laid off first time by Khedira, who of course knows all about Italian football, having just won Serie A with Juventus. Good ball by Khedira. Muller tries to return it to him into the penalty area, and it's Parolo again who started it well. Nothing fancy there. He puts it out for a corner, but he's had a strong start to the game. He's been where he needed to be.
Yeah, you're spot on, Connor. He's checked the run of Khedira twice there now. Khedira, as I said before, unlike him really, he's prepared to get beyond, but it's Parolo. He's got the responsibility of tracking those midfield runs from deeper. Done well on 2 occasions. occasions they're tracking the run of Khedira.
That's the voice of Kevin Kilban, former Republic of Ireland international, watching this game with us here in Bordeaux. 0-0 between Germany and France. Kroos plays it into the penalty area. He was only flicked on by Bonucci at the front post. Not a firm forehead on it. And Gomez will keep it in play on the far side. Mario Gomez. So Germany still have possession. This is Jerome Boateng back into Toni Kroos once again, and available on the near touchline is Joshua Kimmich, and Germany allowing the ball to do the work. Kimmich to within 5 yards of the penalty area. To the right hand side is Mesut Ozil on his left boot. Back he retreats to Benedikt Höwedes and all the way back to the halfway line, and Boateng once again. Germany now come on the left. This is Hummels onto Hector. And again, the relentless running by the Italians, and wherever the Germans stretch, Italy come and face them, and they move as a unit. And now it's Giaccherini putting pressure on Mesut Ozil, who just dinks it towards the edge of the penalty area. Again, Parolo's in the right place to head it away, but Giaccherini is tackled by Ozil. Germany showing that they've got high work rate as well.
Yeah, you mentioned Parolo again. The responsibilities on Parolo. He's the one that's got to nullify attacks.
Here's Ozil on the D, running from right to left, tried to play in Hector. The pass was intercepted, and now a chance for Italy to come on the counter. Khedira though goes walloping in with a really strong challenge on Adair. Referee says fair challenge. Italy regain possession, but they're back inside their own half. Here is Parolo, turns back to Bonucci.
Yeah, Connor, Italy quite prepared to allow Germany to go wide, so Kimmich is the one that's getting forward on the right hand side, and of course then on the left hand side it's Hector. He's prepared to go in, but those two players are getting the ball, but they're very isolated, so all they can do is go back into the strength of the midfield, and Italy quite prepared to allow them to do that. As soon as they win the ball, you can see Giaccherini. He's the one that's prepared to go beyond Pella and Adair up front. That's where the threat is coming from at the moment.
Lovely movement by Ozil. He allowed the ball run past him. He completely eluded the defender Florenzi, but then as he tried to run around the other side and get there, Bonucci was able to step in, and he puts it out of play on the far side. So we've played 11 minutes. We have yet to have a serious attempted goal, but it's an intriguing tactical battle here, and Germany, who've got three defenders back there. Höwedes though showing a willingness to push up on the right and further allow Kimmich to push up as a winger. So the three of the back when they need to defend, but it's a flat back four when they want to push forward.
Yeah, you're right, Connor.
Here comes Chiellini lunging in on Khedira, and he puts the ball out of play for it.
As you said with Höwedes, he's the one that's prepared to step in at the moment, but when that does happen, Hummels immediately creates that defensive rock with alongside Boateng, so it becomes a centre-half back two again, doesn't it, with Jonas Hector prepared to bomb, and he's playing so wide and high, he's almost on Italy's back line as well, so those two wing-backs are playing right as wingers at the moment, so high and pressing high up the pitch.
Kimmich here, up the pitch on the right-hand side, good first touch to take him around. De Sciglio, he gets into the penalty area. De Sciglio did well initially, and then Chiellini, I think, using a bit of nous there, wins a free kick against the enthusiastic Kimmich, and that relieves a lot of pressure for the Italians. It was interesting, if you were listening to 5 Live before the game with Raphael Honigstein on, he was talking about how Jogi Löw, now a World Cup winning coach, he's not afraid to be tactically flexible. He thinks a few years ago he might have thought, this will look weak if I change my tactics against Italy. Because he's won the World Cup, it's brazened him. He's emboldened.
Yeah, you can certainly get a bit of leeway when you've won, of course, the World Cup, but I just think overall, I think it's clever though, Connor, because it puts a little bit of doubt in Italy's mind. They would have worked on a system leading into this game, again, you in many respects thinking you had typical German. You know what Germany's going to do, and all of a sudden this puts an element of doubt in the players' minds onto the pitch now, because they've not worked on it. They don't know how the Germans are going to line up. They might have spoke about it in the dressing room before the game. This is how they could line up, but now all of a sudden the reality hits them, and this is where they could force mistakes on the Germans because of that.
Sami Khedira is just receiving some treatment down there on the pitch. He's now going to walk off. I think he's going to be okay. And Storaro also coming across, I think, for a drink as much as anything else. But Khedira, who has now won a third title in a third different country. He won Serie A with Juventus this season. Of course, he's won La Liga with Real Madrid. Many years ago, back in 2007, he won the Bundesliga with Stuttgart. So it's quite a CV that Sami Khedira has, and here he is back jogging onto the pitch once again after treatment. 0-0 in Bordeaux here in this epic quarter-final. Germany against Italy. Ball played forward to Eder. Excellent defending by Mats Hummels. That's why Bayern Munich have spent so much money on him. Just didn't allow Eder even to take it down. Immediately nipped in there, and Germany come over the halfway line.
There's very little room for Toni Kroos to work at the moment as well, Conor, and he's picking up a few of the loose balls. You say Hummels very tight with Eder, wins the ball. Once it comes to Kroos, there's no space for him. There's nowhere he can pass forward. Spoke about that condensed lines that Italy play with, and he can't then play it into Thomas Müller like we see the German side do so often.
Good noise, particularly from the Germans. Away to our left-hand side here. Antonio Conte out on the edge of the technical area. Smart navy Italian suit full of gesticulation and flicking of the hair as Italy through Giaccherini come over the halfway line on the left hand side. De Sciglio, good early ball in. Hummels tried to lunge in, similar on Eder, who's a bit more streetwise to it now, and he keeps it for Italy. That's a good ball to the far side. Florenzi's up there, turns, shoots, no power on it. A daisy cutter which Manuel Neuer can gently ease down onto his knee and pick it up.
Yeah, Graziano Pella was there. He's eyeballing Florenzi, because as Florenzi comes inside, that's exactly what you want from your striker. Show up. You know, once you make that little bit of eye contact, you can have that little bit of a 1-2 movement. Pella could hold it up as well, but decided to take the strike on his left foot, his weaker left foot. It's a poor strike at the end.
Now look at this, an early change enforced for Germany, and Khedira, who had been off the field and receiving treatment, and he has got to leave the field now, and coming on will be quite an experienced individual. Bastian Schweinsteiger, brought in much earlier than Jogi Löw would have thought, and immediately he's given the captain's armband as well. Manuel Neuer, who started the game as Germany captain, but when Basti Schweinsteiger comes on, he is Le Grand Fromage.
Well, he started well, hasn't he, Khedira? We spoke before, Conor, about the forward movement that he'd been undertaking, trying to get beyond Parolo at times. He's got the responsibility. So this is a blow, and of course it puts a little bit of doubt and uncertainty in the Germans' minds.
Here he is, first touch of the ball. Schweinsteiger on the right hand side. Germany playing left to right as we go forward. Schweinsteiger, who scored when he came on as a sub in the opening game, seems a long time ago now as we've reached the knockout stages, and he'll just slot into that role that Khedira has been playing. He's wide on the right at the moment, Schweinsteiger. Not a great ball from Boateng, and that goes out for a throw into Italy. Kevin Kilbane.
Well, it's not a bad sub, is it, Conor? Let's be honest about that. It isn't a bad sub, but you say, can Schweinsteiger now, of course, 15-16 minutes on the clock, if this game, as we probably expected, could go to extra time, does Schweinsteiger have it in his legs to play for, what will it be now, 105 minutes or so in the game? So that's a big test for him as well, and that's obviously what Joachim Löw's had to decide to do, that put Schweinsteiger on. It's like for like, but does he have the energy, and does he have the fitness levels to last for the whole game?
Well, Schweinsteiger comes on, his 119th cap. He equals Miroslav Klose's record of 37 matches at a World Cup or European Championship finals. But I just wonder, coming on so early in the game, around 15 minutes played when he came on, this is a player who hasn't played a full night, or hasn't started a game since January. He played Manchester United against Sheffield United on January the 9th is the last time he started a game. He's not started tonight, but effectively he might as well have done.
And it's okay, Conor, coming on to see a game through.
Exactly.
He scored, you say, in the opening match, but it was almost seeing the game through at that particular stage as well for Germany. So this is a totally different game for him now. As you say, can he get up to speed? Can he maintain the intensity for the whole of this match now?
So Schweinsteiger on for Khedira, and Khedira will hope that if Germany do go through, that he'll be fit enough to take part in the semi-final. By the way, in terms of suspensions and bookings and all that, and we've spoken so much on 5 Live about Ben Davies and Aaron Ramsey missing the semi-final for Wales, there are 16 players who could be suspended for the semis if they were to pick up a yellow card in this game tonight. Here is Parolo back to Barzali, and he will take no risks with Ozil bearing down on him, and he turns and returns possession to Gianluigi Buffon, who's one of those players who would miss the semi-final if he was to pick up a yellow card tonight. 0-0 here on 5 Live. Parolo, who's become the new quarterback, if you like, in this Italian team, the anchor in the midfield, everything going through him. As Eder here nips away from Toni Kroos. There's neat footwork by Storaro. Now a ball over the top. Eder will chase after it. Too much on it though, and that trickles out for a goal kick to Germany away to our left-hand side. 0-0.
He certainly has been impressive in this Euros, hasn't he, Boateng? He's read situations, he's been on the move early, so any ball that's played like that particular ball, played over the top of the defence, he's already in position straight away. Of course, it goes harmlessly away, but he's been outstanding in this tournament.
Brilliant clearance in the first game as well against Ukraine, the goal line clearance, of which I did see one of the German newspapers the next day did one of those brilliant Photoshop mock-ups where they inserted Boateng clearing off the line into the famous 1966 World Cup final image, the goal that wasn't, if you like. Here is Schweinsteiger on the halfway line, tried to flick it over the top of Parolo and run around the other side, but Parolo gets a touch in it, and that goes out for a throw-in to Germany, which Kimmich takes quickly, and back to Hovedus once again. Still teasing each other out here.
Definitely. Again, it's Parolo mentioned again. Look at the responsibility that he's got though, Connor. It's almost playing between the width.
Here's Gomez running into the penalty area, stretches, gets a touch, but all he could do is pop it up into the air, and out comes Buffon to gather. But that's a direct ball. The Germans don't play that very often. Gomez sprinting in, got around the back of Bonucci, but he was at such a full stretch he could get no control on the ball, and in the end it was just a back pass.
Well, they've hit a couple of balls from right to left, long diagonal balls. That time it's the first one. It's Hummel stepping in, good ball over the top, good movement from Gomez, just couldn't quite get the strike on target.
Germany look dangerous here. This is Kroos to the left hand side, ball in, just too high for Gomez. Out comes Muller for the penalty area to keep it in play on the right hand side to Kimmich. Out comes Giaccherini to put pressure on him, so Kimmich must turn and gives it back to Hovedus on the right hand side. Pella does some good closing down, forces an early cross which Schweinsteiger and Gomez between them cannot control. Giaccherini tries a back heel, that doesn't come off. Kimmich, good ball to the edge of the penalty area. Muller on the D, just stabs it into the box, just a little clever dink, but Bonucci was in the right place and he's able to clear it away for Italy. Pella falls to his feet under pressure from Hovedus. All the tackles are coming in now. This is Mesut Ozil. Germany still on the attack, tries to spread it wide. Good interception by Florenzi. Now Eder will come up to the halfway line to Giaccherini on the left. He'll stretch and he won't keep it in play, and the game is beginning to bubble.
Good movement from Florenzi out to the right hand side. I think he chose the wrong option there, Eder, trying to find Giaccherini. But when they get into wide areas though, Germany, they all prefer to put crossing, but Italy are almost letting them, aren't they? Think, come across, we'll deal with any cross coming in. With our three, Barzagli, Bonucci, Chiellini, quite content to defend the crosses coming into the area. The Barzagli with a really good interception when Hector got forward and put a good cross in. They're quite content to do that, so you just do feel that Germany have got to do something different when they get into wide areas and move the ball quickly.
Germany 0, Italy 0 here in Bordeaux. Tomorrow on 5 Live Sport we've got the Austrian Grand Prix from 1 o'clock lunchtime, the 6:06 with Kelly Cates and Chris Waddle at 5:30, and then 8 o'clock in the UK, France against Iceland, full commentary here on 5 Live Sport. And you do have a choice of listening tomorrow. There's cricket as well on 5 Live Sports Extra. Bonucci, the centre of the three Italian defenders. To his left is his clubmate Chiellini, and that's a direct ball for Eder to go and chase after. Once again Boateng is perfectly positioned and he just calmly rolls it back to Neuer, and there was no fluster there from Boateng. He's very relaxed in that sort of situation.
Well, it's great movement from Pella initially. He sucked Ovidi's out of the position, and then of course then Eder's prepared to spin in behind, but that's what I spoke about before. Boateng reads the situation quickly, gets his body in front of Eder, sees it through quite easily in the end.
Antonio Conte is out of his technical area, remonstrating with the referee. Free kick has been given to Germany. Conte's not happy with that, now shouting at the fourth official from Poland. But here come Germany, playing from left to right with Mats Hummels. Short ball in midfield to Toni Kroos.
Do you think Antonio Conte actually sleeps, Connor? I think he's just he's in a constant state of, he just doesn't sit down. You can't imagine him sitting down even when he's eating.
He's got to super glue the eyelids shut, doesn't he, Antonio Conte? And look at him from one end of the technical area to the other. He's following play here as the ball is scooped in by Kimmich and cleared by Bonucci. And Germany will get it back here with Hovedus near the halfway line. He allows it roll out of play, knowing that it will be a throw into Germany. Contrasting in the sartorial stakes this evening with Yogi Löw in his sort of relaxed looking dark cardigan or sweater down there, and a more formal attire from Conte with the suit as the ball there goes out of play. Kimmich jumps, but he won't be able to keep it in play.
Well, you mentioned there, Connor, about he's obviously moving the full width of his technical area, but what he's doing as he's moving, he's trying to get in line with the so if the defenders is pushed right up, he's in line with the defence. If the defence drop beyond his technical area, he's then in line with the midfield, and he's guiding all the players back into position every time. And then when obviously if they defend drop a little bit deeper beyond the technical area, he's in line with the strikers and telling them get back into position. So, he's got a real purpose when he's down there in his technical area there, Conte.
Just a delay here. Eder is receiving a wipe to a bloody nose. Antonio Conte, who calls this team a war machine. And I think he's looking forward to becoming Chelsea boss, looking forward to getting back into club management. Says it's frustrating that he can't spend more time with the players at international level. Free kick given there for a lunge by Thomas Muller. Free kick midway inside the Italian half for Italy, underneath these blue skies here in Bordeaux. And this game, which has yet to have a really clean-cut chance. There was one ball over the top which Mario Gomez stretched for, but we've not had a shot on target in the game so far. We are a quarter way through the match now.
No, it's hardly a strike from Gomez as well, but it's just great movement. I just liked how he just came short initially and he sold Bonucci. Bonucci expecting the long ball to be played to him, which it was, but it was over his head in the end. Great movement from Gomez, but I think he was actually trying to get hold of the ball, wasn't he? He was stretching, he tried to get the ball under control and it got away from him in the end, but that's the only real sight of goal we've seen.
If you're just joining our coverage, 0-0 here, Germany against Italy. Khedira's had to go off injured early on. Basti Schweinsteiger coming on early. Free kick here to Germany for a foul on Toni Kroos. Now that's the third in very quick succession, and the referee has gone across to have a word with Stefano Sturaro. Kroos who just tried to change a direction, and Sturaro was in to click the ankles out from underneath him.
Well, he got away with the last one actually. It was a foul by Thomas Muller. The referee gave a foul against Thomas Muller, but Sturaro tried to leave a bit on Muller as Muller went to ground, and that time again it was just a heavy challenge on the top of his ankle.
It's interesting how Italy are such masters of the tactical foul, if you like, and they rotate them, and they've had more yellow cards than any other team in the tournament. And Sturaro there, I mean, he's the guy who'll risk that because he's not one of those who's on a yellow card. But I just wonder, is it going to usurp them eventually, the Italians, as they go towards the semi-final? If they do win tonight, will they be able to keep everyone available? Because they're pretty much all on yellow cards now. Ball into the penalty area. Muller does well to control that, surrounded by three Italians initially. Chiellini sweeps it away from him. Eder then with a rather careless touch in midfield, but Pele's done well to nod it down here for Giaccherini, and Italy keep it in play. Giaccherini tries to run past Boateng, succeeds in that, but Kimmich was sweeping in behind, and Germany, very no panic like, roll it back to the goalkeeper Manuel Neuer.
Excellent from Kimmich, you say there, Avides, and even Kroos. All three of them just crowded out. Giaccherini had nowhere to go, had to try to get it beyond the three of them. He didn't have the pace then to go beyond. Kroos had already read it. That's what Germany do really well when they're out of possession. They just go and hunt that ball down and get it back quickly, and then it starts another attack like we see here.
It's a night that may require patience. Italy haven't threatened going forward for quite some time now. Germany yet to create a decent attempt at goal, as Florenzi here clears away in a tight position and Italy lose it at the back. This is Hector on the left hand side. There are three waiting in the penalty area. Mats Hummels comes forward, midway inside the Italian half, leans back as he strokes it in. Schweinsteiger's up, heads it in, but is it going to count? No. Referee blows the whistle for a push on De Sciglio. Schweinsteiger so clinical with the header. It was a brilliant finish, but it doesn't count. 0-0.
Well, you said before, Connor, untypical German, really looking for the long diagonal ball. It is a foul from Schweinsteiger on De Sciglio, but De Sciglio gets caught underneath the ball a little bit, and there's a slight push. I think it's the assistant behind the goal as well that actually gives that. The referee's in a good spot, but that diagonal ball is causing Italy problems.
Lovely header, but no. 0-0 between Germany and Italy here in Bordeaux. This is Barzali on the halfway line to Parolo for Italy, playing from right to left as we look down. Again, Jerome Boateng, right place, right time. Now Muller was fouled, but he's away. Play on, says the referee, leaving Parolo in his way. Oh, brilliant recovery from Parolo. That's excellent to get back and to tackle Thomas Muller. And now the game stretches a little bit with Florenzi on the right hand side. Eder drops deep, he receives the ball, bounces off his instep, but he just somehow with a pirouette manages to keep possession. Good work from Italy as they feed Giaccherini on the left hand side. There's 4 or 5 blue jerseys up in attack. Here is Parolo, ball back to Chiellini, over the top to De Sciglio. Oh, it looked a really good ball, but De Sciglio didn't control it, and that's frustrating for the Italians. It's gone out for a German throw.
It's poor from De Sciglio. Good Italian attack there going forward, moving the ball a little bit quicker. As you say there, Pelle almost got caught out a little bit. He didn't quite know what he was doing and backheeled it, and he got away with it in the end when that attack going forward for Italy. But great ball played from right to left from Storaro, out to the left-hand side. A little bit of an attack going forward, but it's come to nothing in the end again for Italy.
So Schweinsteiger's header disallowed. 0-0 it remains, 28 minutes on the clock. This is 5 Live from the BBC, also on the red button on BBC television, where you can listen to our commentary in sync with the pictures. De Sciglio plays it forward here, lovely flick by Pella into Eder, who tried to return it to the Southampton man, and it didn't quite come out, but there's plenty of indication that those two could combine here. Now come Germany, Mesut Ozil, ball over the top, Italy want a flag. Gomez sprints after it, Chiellini gets back, he's all guts and courage, and he dives in with a diving header to put it out of play for a throw-in, and Italy still complaining that should have been offside.
Yeah, I think he looked offside to me as well, Connor, actually, but as that ball was played forward there, very tight, probably wasn't actually as it turns out, but doesn't need to make the challenge there, Gomez. He's going nowhere there, Chiellini, he's always going to head it out. Why make that challenge? When you see that attack now comes to nothing, they can't pen Italy in their own half.
What should have been an attacking throw-in for Germany becomes a free kick out for Italy, taken by Gianluigi Buffon, the Juventus goalkeeper. Bonucci to the right-hand side to Barzagli, who is set to retire from international football after this tournament. Parolo dropping deep to take it off the three central defenders. Bonucci, the pace of the game just slowing down for the first time since kickoff. Look at Conte, he wants more urgency. He's nearly on the pitch, Antonio Conte. Oh, Italy have given it away at the back. Chiellini, uncertain. Gomez tries to lay it off to Kimmich. Good work in there to win it back though by Bonucci. Here come Italy. Pella waited for the ball to come to him. Hummels didn't wait. He nipped in and won it back. This is Gomez on the right hand side to Thomas Muller. Muller now tries to switch play with a crossfield pass. 45 yards, bang onto the instep of Hector out there, but Hector couldn't deliver it to Kroos, and it's possession won back for Italy, and they have it in their final third. This is Storaro to the left-hand side to De Sciglio. Constant commentary down there from Antonio Conte, delivering instructions, and he's not bellowing at the players, he's shouting at the support staff on the bench as well. He's now clicking his fingers high, pointing his finger. He wants a crossfield ball. Well, Parolo heard him, and what a ball he's delivered. De Sciglio into the penalty area. Chance, Boateng gets in and clears it away. Excellent defending, but that's better from Italy.
Yeah, it was poor defending. Actually, it was from Kimmich. He misread that pass played out. He allowed De Sciglio to get beyond him. De Sciglio gets his head up, in fairness to him. He's looking to pick out Pella, but again it's Boateng. He reads the situation first. He has the pace, gets across well.
Watching Conte down there, and he's pointing each time a player has the ball. He's like a kid playing a computer game, and he's got a joystick, and he's sort of controlling what the players do and trying to get them to feed the pass. Well, it was certainly the right idea to send it down the left-hand side, but Boateng once again the most solid defender on the pitch.
Great defending, Connor, isn't he? He gets himself in that position really early, doesn't he? So he reads the cross, he knows exactly where the cross is going to go. He almost anticipates where Graziano Pella is going to be, gets himself in position, stops it. Fantastic defending.
Italy often leave it late against Germany at major tournaments to score. 15 of the 18 goals they have scored have come after half-time. 7 of them have come in extra time. With the Italians, it's often a staring match, and they will wait a long time until they blink.
It says it all, Connor, about the game, the way that it started. No, very little chances in the match. Neither goalkeepers had anything to do really of any substance in the match. It's all been, maybe starting attacks going forward, and that's pretty much how this half's gone. So you can imagine, certainly that stat there, Connor, it's certainly in keeping with this game, isn't it?
The winners meet either France or Iceland in Marseille in the semi-final on July 7th. Here is Giaccherini, near touchline to us. Italy playing right to left as we look down. Good header though by Kimmich to win it back for Germany. Good accurate header into Kroos inside the centre circle. And here comes Matt Hummels. And Germany, whose squad has got the lowest average age at this tournament, and yet they boast over 1,000 caps between them. It's a lovely blend of youth and experience available to the world champions.
I heard Dean Saunders on 5 Live last night talking about Wales and how John Toshak almost blooded the youngsters at a really young age to allow them to get to a certain stage. As they are now, a lot of the squad have 50, 60 caps. That's what the German side have done over the last 10 years, haven't they? They've blooded the youngsters early in tournament football. Of course, Wales didn't have that, but it's still the same. Playing those qualifiers and those competitive matches, it brings the players on, and that's why the German side are at this stage now.
Yeah. Jerome Boateng 64 caps, Schweinsteiger 120, Tony Kroos 70th cap tonight, 78th cap for Mesut Ozil. He's only 27 years of age. Here is Kimmich on the right hand side, one of the youngsters, just 21, tackled well by De Sciglio. Ball goes off a German shin last, and that will be a throw in to Italy, left full back position for them. 0-0, 12 minutes to go to half time here in Bordeaux.
I think they're quite content. I mean, even both sides, both Germany and Italy, they're allowing the wing backs to go one-on-one against each other. And I think from a defensive point of view, they can snuff that out. Maybe, again, it's something that Gianluca Vialli spoke about before the game. There's no player really in the Italian side at the moment, even in the German side, that's really creative, that's able to go and beat a man in one-on-one positions. Maybe you're taking Draxler out the side, and certainly with him not being in. So that's how it's been when they get into wide positions. It's got to come back inside into the strength of both sides, and the attacks are coming to nothing.
Oh, Boateng's been outfoxed here by Giaccherini. In comes Muller to help his teammate, and it goes out for an Italian throw. But Boateng, who, I mean, such his confidence, he flicked it over the top of Pella, he ran around the other side, and then Giaccherini was able to nip in and briefly get possession for Italy. They have this throw-in taken on the left-hand side by De Sciglio, back through Chiellini, and from a position midway inside the German half, Italy retreat all the way to the goalkeeper Buffon.
That's just the shape of the German side. You can't play through them. Very little space, very little gaps between that defence and midfield. As we've already spoke about the Italians, it's they're just, the way this game is going at the moment, they're just stifling each other really. There's no space, and it's very, very difficult for any of the midfield players to get on the ball and start dictating play.
Ball goes out of play on the far side, throw in to Germany. So 0-0 for now. These two nations drew 0-0 at Euro 96. It was a game played in Manchester. That group stage game actually knocked Italy out of the tournament, so although Germany have never beaten Italy at a major finals, that would have felt a little bit victorious on that particular evening in a tournament, of course, that, well, England fans don't need to be reminded that Germany went on to win the final.
Got away with that corner there, Manuel Neuer. Eder had read him, and he's trying to play with his left foot. Got away with it.
Here is Giaccherini for Italy, midway inside the German half, plays it back to Chiellini, turns, and all the way back to Buffon. Well, Neuer, who does like to come out of his penalty area and play the sweeper keeper, but hasn't had much need for that so far tonight. Here is Bonucci's ball forward, and that's easily chested down by Mats Hummels. Chance here for Germany. Kroos onto Ozil. First time back to Toni Kroos. That's a beautiful first touch to bring him away from Sturaro. Here comes the cross from the left hand side. Oh, for a moment, Buffon almost dropped it. He was standing at the near post. It came into him. It slipped from his fingertips, but he was able to gather it again immediately.
Yeah, I think it's the deflection on the cross. As Hector's getting into a good position, he's looking to pick out Mario Gomez. It's the deflection. I think it's off Florenzi, as Florenzi goes out to block that cross, and it just caused a few problems there for Buffon.
Germany 0, Italy 0. Here is Marco Parolo, the Lazio man, to Bonucci. Now Chiellini on the left of defence, being put under pressure by Thomas Muller. That's excellent from Muller, and he forces Chiellini to put it out of play. Fortunately for Italy, it hit Muller on the way out, so it'll be a throw-in to the Azzurri and blue. De Sciglio wants to leave it for Chiellini. Just a few delaying tactics from Italy. You can see that they're in this for the long game. No massive urgency from Antonio Conte's team. De Sciglio, who's got an earful of Antonio Conte behind him at the moment as he takes the throw on the edge of the technical area, and Germany lose the ball. Bonucci stretching on the halfway line, stabs it over the top. Eder's going to need to be really quick here. Neuer comes out of the penalty area, chests it down. Eder nearly blocks his clearance, but it does go out for a throw-in. And just a reminder that Italy they'll always be sniffing around for that sort of chance.
Well, that's Eder, isn't it? Eder's not great with his back to goal. When he comes to collect passes, that's what Pella's in the side for. He's the player that can hold up, but Eder's pacing behind. It was actually Bonucci, as he went to clear, he just meant to, I think he actually tried to put it in the stand, but it was the deflected clearance as the German player went to close him down that allowed Eder to nearly get on the end of that. But good play by Neuer, who read the situation.
7.5 minutes to go until half-time here in Bordeaux. Earlier on today, Novak Djokovic knocked out of Wimbledon, a shock defeat by the American Sam Querrey. It ends the world number one's hopes of a calendar year Grand Slam. In the Tour de France, Mark Cavendish will wear the yellow jersey for the first time in his career. He won the opening stage of the 2016 Tour at Utah Beach. Here is Bonucci at the back for Italy. To the right hand side, and Barzali, good ball up to Pella, who allowed it through his legs. Eder was behind him, good work from Hovedes, and then Schweinsteiger to pick up the pieces, and he's strong. Schweinsteiger rides the challenge of De Sciglio, delivers it towards the edge of the penalty area. Chiellini stretching, does well to get it out of the penalty area. It comes back again to De Sciglio. Oh, that's a terrible clearance. He's put his defence under all sorts of trouble here. It lands inside the 6-yard box. What a calm touch by Florenzi to just help it out of the box, and as if there was no pressure at all, Italy clear it away.
Brilliant, wasn't it? De Sciglio, nervous. He's been, when I've seen him a little bit, De Sciglio, he is a little bit nervous at times, and that wasn't under any pressure. Connor could have actually taken a touch and put his foot through it. He's a right footer playing at left wing back, so he's always wanting to check inside, and he just slashed at that, putting his goalkeeper under pressure. But in fairness, Buffon, that's the calm head he's got, Connor. Didn't come out trying to catch it. He allowed Florenzi to take control of the situation. As you say, what a touch. It's in his own 6-yard box as well.
Alessandro Florenzi in the team because Antonio Candreva has a thigh injury, but he is a steady head. He captained Roma at times this past season when Francesco Totti and Daniele De Rossi were unavailable. He captained them actually when Roma beat Lazio in the Rome derby back in March, so that of course always goes down well with the fans, but he's just a calm head. His wife actually is due to give birth any day now, and he's sort of waiting for the phone call to have to do a scamper, but he's here in Bordeaux.
He's very versatile as well, Connor, because he can play inside. I think his natural position is to play in midfield. That's where he would want to play, but because of his energy, because of his willingness to run, it suits him to play that wing-back role.
This is Pella. Back to Chiellini. Furthest forward we've seen him. Down this left wing. Might have been a nudge by Muller. Referee is happy it was a natural coming together. No free kick. Germany clear it away. Schweinsteiger towards Kimmich. Intercepted by Chiellini. Italy don't want to gamble with possession. They keep it safe and roll it back to Bonucci some 15 yards inside his own half.
Yeah, again, it's then Parolo that comes to get on the ball. Playing really well, Parolo. So, more so from a defensive point of view, he's a standout player. He's the player that's plugging any holes, any gaps that's coming within the side.
Good ball forward by Florenzi. Let's see if De Sciglio can get to this, down to the byline on the left, and it just beats him out of play. Delivered a decent cross anyway, but it wouldn't have counted. It remains Germany 0, Italy 0. 5 minutes to go until half-time in Bordeaux. Remember, one way or the other, we will get a winner tonight. If it takes extra time, if it takes penalties, we'll find out who goes through to the semis. Good ball by Kroos to Kimmich on the right-hand side. Right foot across. Gomez gets up. Good header, but off target. Just too high and wide. But in a game that hasn't had many threatens to either goal so far, that counts as a chance.
It is a chance. Great movement from Mario Gomez. He gets across. Barzagli, excellent from Kimmich, putting it into a good area. But that attack actually comes from the cross, you say, down the left-hand side corner. Because De Sciglio went to make the cross, went out of play. Neuer took the cross, put it down, planted immediately, and set the attack down Germany's left-hand side. De Sciglio's out of position. That in turn, Giaccherini's filtering back into shape. He can't quite get back in, and that's where the chance come from. I think Conte's having a right go at De Sciglio to try and get himself back in quicker. Don't cross it. It's going out of play. Leave it. Get yourself back into position early and quickly.
Gomez with the header. He scored against Northern Ireland and Slovakia at this tournament. His next goal for Germany will be his 30th in international football. Gomez, who was one of those who was on the losing side against Italy in the semi-final 4 years ago. Can Germany gain revenge tonight? Boateng plays it forward. Hector's made a run into the penalty area. Good defending by Florenzi, the Roma right back we've been praising. This is Hummels who's come forward now, and he very nearly lost it there, and a tangle of legs. Oh, he's done well, Hummels. Here's Hector, pulls it back on the edge of the area. Kroos hits it, ugly shot, back to Muller. No power, saved by Buffon. Best chance of the game by a country mile, and the man who's never scored at a European Championship finals, Thomas Muller, wasn't able to finish it off.
And it shows, Connor, that's why it's nervousness, isn't it? You know, we spoke before the game, there is nerves. No matter what level you've played at and what Germany have won, that is nerves from Thomas Muller there. As the ball comes back to Kimmich, he actually tries to take the strike on himself, as you know, Kroos is going for the strike, totally mishits it, comes out to Kimmich on the right hand side. He goes for the strike himself, inadvertently puts it back into the path of Thomas Muller. As you say, Connor, what a chance, glorious chance for Muller.
Thomas Muller, 10 goals at World Cups, no goals yet at European Championship finals. Here come Italy. Parolo helps it on to the right hand side. Little ball into the penalty area. Good defending once again by Hovedes and it falls for Kroos. He's given it away. Giaccherini 5 yards outside the penalty area, tries to shoot. Schweinsteiger, using all his experience, gets in close, smothers the shot, and Germany are able to clear it away. So Schweinsteiger tonight becomes, hang on, here's Giaccherini running into the penalty area. He's done well to give it a play. Oh, what a chance for Italy, but it's behind Florenzi, and Sturaro comes back in again, but Sturaro's shot goes through a forest of legs and wide. Did it take a deflection the way through?
Yeah, I think it did.
It's going to be a corner. What a chance for Italy.
Well, you were just talking about Schweinsteiger. He blocked the initial strike from Giaccherini, and he was in a great position, but he switched off, Connor. He allowed Giaccherini to run in behind him. He just didn't track the run at all. Giaccherini was well onside, and it was a great pullback into a position. I think it was actually Neuer got his hand to it that took it back into Sturaro's path. What a chance. Good strike, but deflected wide.
When the cross came in from Giaccherini, Florenzi was in the 6-yard box. It was behind him. Sturaro arriving late, and it's gone for this corner, which comes in from the left-hand side, deep towards the back post, headed away by Hector, and that goes out for a throw into Italy, level with the corner of the penalty area that they are attacking, right-hand side as the Italians come forward. Just over a minute of normal time to go. Now, there's boos here because Florenzi, who had taken the corner on the left, wants to take this throw in on the right, so he's going to run across the pitch. And I mentioned those little delaying tactics from the Italians, and they're just trying to get under the skin of the Germans.
Well, do you know what it is as well, look, Connor? Florenzi's out of position, so Conte wouldn't want that happening. Get your man back into position before he takes a throw in.
Exactly.
If they lose the ball, they've got no one out of shape, and it's quickly then they can filter back into shape. Sometimes, Connor, it almost sounds basic and boring, but that's what it takes to win football matches, and Conte gets it spot on like that.
Yeah, he dots the I's and crosses the T's, does Antonio Conte. I think it's going to be great fun having him in the Premier League next season when he takes charge of Chelsea. Or as someone said during the week when Iceland beat England, Iceland managed to, let me get this right, to dot the O's and cross the J's. Here's a long ball forward by Boateng. Hector made a decent run, and it's helped out for a corner by Florenzi, who's got a lovely touch, took no chances there, just trapped the pace out of the ball and puts it out for a corner. So as we're about to go into what I think is going to be 1 minute added on for stoppages, here comes the fourth officials board. Yes, 1 minute to be added on. It's a corner to Germany on the left hand side as they come forward. Toni Kroos, the Real Madrid midfielder, places the ball. Busy penalty area awaits. Low trajectory on the cross though, headed away by Sturaro. This is Boateng, who's midway inside the Italy half, plays it towards the edge of the penalty area. Chiellini springing his heels to jump and head it away, and Germany get it back again, but they're deep inside their own half.
It's the diagonal balls, Connor, isn't it, that's causing Italy problems really. The longer balls, which you don't expect Germany to be hitting, but that's where they're getting a little bit of joy at the moment.
Here's another one. Muller winning the header on the edge of the box, nodding it into the area, but Bonucci is well positioned to clear it away. Germany come again, picking up the loose balls. Italy's retention hasn't been brilliant in midfield. Here's a crossfield ball, lovely for Kimmich to control on his chest. It went out of play though, took it down off his chest onto his instep. He's appealing the whole ball didn't go over the line. Referee now sprinting across because Kimmich is giving a bit of back chat to the referee's assistant, and it will be a throw into Italy, and you would imagine they will just waste as long as they can. In fact, that will be that. It is half-time in Bordeaux. Schweinsteiger forced on as an early substitute, headed into the back of the net, but it was disallowed. Gomez has had a header go wide. A really good chance for Thomas Muller, but Germany have not taken the lead. Kevin Kilbane.
Very much cat and mouse, Connor. I think it's excellent, really. It's particularly in the middle third of the field. You know, there's very little goal mouth chances, apart from the chance from Muller. Really, that was the gilt-edged chance in that first half. But it's very, very cagey, and it's what we expect it to be, Connor. I think we knew coming into the stadium this evening it was going to be very tight.
Italy have never lost to Germany at a major tournament finals, and so often they leave it late to score. It'll be at least into the second half here, Dan Walker, because at the break in Bordeaux, it's Germany 0, Italy 0.
Thank you, Dan. I think when the young goalkeepers do it, you can raise your eyebrows. But I think whatever Buff, he can do what he wants, can't he? He can just absolutely wear what he wants.
It's all about the sponsors, Connor. It's all about the sponsors now. Even players are dictated from sponsors.
Well, Gianluigi Buffon wasn't overly troubled in that first half. Germany managing just one shot on target. And the Italians also with one attempt on target, but not really threatening their goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. So 0-0, could be a long one here, could be a tactical battle of which Antonio Conte, I'm sure, will relish. Italy so in this one, their high pressing game, putting pressure on the German defence at times in that game, And Germany, for all their pressure and all their territory and possession, Kevin Kilbane, didn't overly trouble Buffon either.
No, they didn't, and I think they had the best chance with Thomas Muller, and I think I spoke about it during commentary, Conor, in the first half. It was more just a little bit of nervousness. He was a bit tense when the opportunity came his way, Muller, and he just tried to maybe whack the life out, take the leather off the ball, and it was a poor strike from him in the end. It was a comfortable save for Buffon. That's the best opening. I think Italy have given us as good as they've got themselves, but it is very tight. Most of the game's been played in the middle third. Very, very tight, very cagey, very little space to manoeuvre.
Referee Victor Kasai from Hungary gets us back underway for the second half, and Antonio Conte, just saw him there coming out of the mouth of the tunnel and rubbing his hands together. You just feel this is what he relishes, this sort of situation against the world champions here in Bordeaux, with an Italian team who nobody was tipping before the tournament, but boy have they shown up at Euro 2016.
Yeah, seeing them in qualification, Conor, you look at it maybe, you reflect back on it and you think, quite easy, unbeaten through qualification. This incredible record they've got, I think it dates back to 2006, unbeaten in qualification, Conor. It's an incredible record, but it was anything but plain sailing for them. They weren't fluent at times, they lacked cohesion, they lacked any sort of threat going forward. They struggled against the likes of Azerbaijan and Malta, but coming into the Euro, it's been outstanding from them.
So back underway, Italy playing from left to right as we look down. Florenzi plays a ball towards the edge of the D, and it's intercepted, and that will be a free kick to Germany for a foul on Mesut Ozil. So Neuer, the goalkeeper for Germany, Hector and Kimmich on either flank, with Hovedes, Boateng and Hummels the defensive rear guard. Bastian Schweinsteiger, who came on for the injured Khedira, alongside Toni Kroos in midfield, with Mesut Ozil pushing forward and Thomas Muller and Mario Gomez up front. Italy with Buffon in goal, his 160th cap tonight. Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini, the three central defenders. Florenzi on the right wing back, De Sciglio the left wing back, Parolo in the anchor role with No De Rossi, Sturaro and Giaccherini pushing forward, and then Eder and Pella, the two up front. Pella, who's certainly not been given a clear-cut chance in the game so far, but he's done some good link work. Germany have possession. This is Hovedes, the number 4. To his right-hand side, Joshua Kimmich leaves the ball for Thomas Muller here. This is 10 yards outside the Italian penalty area. And the skies just darkened that little bit over half-time, and it very much feels like a nighttime game now. In the first half, there was still plenty of blue in the Bordeaux sky. Buffon picks up the ball, rolls it out gently for Barzagli, and then he attacks the halfway line and tries to send, lovely flick by Giaccherini, and there's plenty of room out there for De Sciglio, and he runs up to the edge of the penalty area, pulls it back for Eder. Eder wanted to cushion it for Giaccherini, and good defending in the end as Germany get it away with Hovedes.
It's poor from Kimmich, actually. He doesn't pick up the flight of the ball. Giaccherini senses that Kimmich comes tight to him. He immediately knows that on the overlap is De Sciglio, and it's a deft little touch from Giaccherini to put De Sciglio away, and it's poor defending. I think he's got to read that situation, Joshua Kimmich. Just got to drop, see the run from De Sciglio, and allow the ball to go backwards, not flip beyond you.
Well, they don't have Andrea Pirlo in the team anymore, of course, but Bonucci and Barzagli both showing that out of central defence they can spray the sort of passes that Pirlo used to do. Here is another one. Out this time from Parolo to De Sciglio on the left hand side. Eder stretches in the D. He wanted to give it to Pella, but it's intercepted. Chiellini here turns, gives it back inside the centre circle to Bonucci, and again Italy go long and accurate, and De Sciglio on the left hand side, 5 yards outside the penalty area, in low to the feet of Pella. He wanted to feed Eder, but that's intercepted, and Germany here having to work hard to regain possession, but now they've a chance to break out of defence. Thomas Muller goes long, Gomez is on the run, takes it on his chest. His first touch veers him away from the penalty area. Does well though to keep it alive. Back to Jonas Hector. Here is Toni Kroos attacking down the left hand side now for Germany. He's done well to hang in across. Chiellini, calm as you like, chests it down on his stomach, gives it to Buffon. Nothing to see here.
Totally aware of his position on the pitch, totally aware of the situation that came about. It was actually Ozil pulled away to the edge of the area, and he sees it, immediately sees it, Chiellini, and calm as you like, chests it back to Buffon. But I think that Germany are weak down their right hand side at the moment. This understanding between Kimmich and Hovedes, they're the two that's struggling, Conor. I think that's where Italy have got the real influence. We saw the chance in the first half, or the half chance for Giaccherini when he run beyond, I think it was on Schweinsteiger, wasn't it, at the end of that half. But down Germany's right, there's no real understanding between those two.
0-0 here in Bordeaux, 4 minutes played in the second half. This is 5 Live from the BBC, the Euro 2016 quarter-final, the third of the 4 quarter-finals. France will play Iceland tomorrow. We already know that Portugal and Wales are there tonight. We will find out which of Germany and Italy will become the third semi-finalists. Here is Chiellini, who was world-class there with that little help back to Buffon a few moments ago. Ball chested down by Eder for Pella. The two of them are combining well. It just hasn't fallen for a shooting opportunity, but there's plenty of glimmer of hope there for Italy that those two can produce something as the ball hits the corner flag on the far side, and that's fortunate for Kimmich. He thought he was putting it out for a corner. It hit the corner flag, came back to him, and he was able to clear away. But Germany a little bit less certain in this second half. Boateng puts a big boot on it. Chiellini, slightly stooped, heads it away. Nodded down here by Storaro. That forces Barzali to sprint back, but he gets there in time, and under pressure from Schweinsteiger helps it into Bonucci, and the technical ability of both sides is very impressive here.
And it's the calmness of the back three. Those 3 players for Italy, they've played so much together at club level, playing international level. They know the positions each other's going to take, and they can feed off each other or get themselves back into position off each other. It's tremendous to watch. So organised, but it's just been honed on the training ground when they've worked together so often.
So 50 minutes played, no goals. Here's a stat for you as the ball goes out of play on the far side. The last player to score a goal against Germany and their keeper Manuel Neuer at a major tournament was Oscar in the semi-final, the big 7-1 win in Brazil. So they've gone through the rest of that campaign.
They 7-0 up at that time.
They were 7-0 up at the time. They've come here to France. They've come through the group stage. They've come through the last 16. They've come through more than half of this quarter-final, and still nobody has scored against Germany. And Italy aren't much worse, by the way. Yeah. 1 goal conceded so far at this tournament.
And it's how many shots he's actually had to save. He has very few shots to save, and that's largely down to the ball retention. They keep the ball so well.
Right, here come Germany with Schweinsteiger onto Müller. Kroos with a good ball to the left-hand side to Jonas Hector, running at the fullback, manages to scoop in as some sort of cross, but it's not great. Barzali is there to clear away for Germany, and not the most certain of chest down by Hummels, but Kroos is there and able to help him, and now Boateng will come through the centre. Germany in the white shirts, dark shorts, white socks, playing from right to left as we look down. Boateng gives it to Mesut Ozil, pushes it further to the right-hand side. Here comes a decent cross. Barzali, diving header in his 6-yard box, takes no chances, puts it out for a corner.
It's the first time actually Mario Gomez has peeled away to the far post. He's got across the near post so often in the first half. That time, as you say, Barzali, he reads the situation.
Corner is taken short, played into the penalty area and headed away by Storaro. Eder will pick it up here. He's still midway inside his own half. He will take that as he wins a throw. The referee says it's not a throw-in to Italy. Eder allowed the ball to go out of play there. Sure, it was going to be a throw-in for him. And then the referee from Hungary says no. So Germany have possession. Back on the halfway line, Matt Hummels helps it on to Bastian Schweinsteiger, who, if you weren't with us in the commentary in the first half, came on after just quarter of an hour for the injured Sami Khedira. Boateng, full 15 yards inside the Italian half, the German central defender, as Germany look to pin the Italians in here in the second half. Wide on the right-hand side with Kimmich. Back to Mesut Ozil, to the feet of Schweinsteiger, up to Thomas Müller. Goes down, looking for a free kick. Nothing doing with the referee, who you have to say he's been consistent in that regard. He's not given many free kicks in the game. Certainly we've not had a set piece at any sort of shooting distance in the match so far. And we've played 53 minutes now as Italy, calm as you like, work their way out of midfield. Triangular passing, Parolo to Florenzi, and then it breaks down. Here comes Germany. Schweinsteiger onto Mario Götze. Controlled it well in the area. Sets up Müller. Left-footed shot. Oh, was that saved on the line? It was. It is a miraculous save by Florenzi. Thomas Müller did everything right. He steadies himself. He didn't rush it. Buffon is hands down beaten. Müller hits it just inside the penalty area, and it's cleared away by Florenzi. That could be a match-winning clearance.
Connor, what a clearance. Brilliant feet from Thomas Müller.
Here comes the corner, played in by Toni Kroos, flicked onto the front post, nobody could get a firm touch on it. Kimmich now collects outside the penalty area on the right hand side, there's no one picking up Boateng, and he shoots too high, and Buffon even had the luxury of just pulling his hand down. He could have got a touch in it, but he knew it was going over the crossbar.
Yeah, comfortable there for Gigi Buffon, no problems at all. But the last chance was the strike going on target though from Müller, Connor. That was the one thing maybe you have to look at here now. It was excellent feet from Müller just to free himself up away from Chiellini. I'm not so sure. I think the strike's off target anyway. So, I mean, but it was spectacular from Florenzi, just to sense that Buffon's out of position, get himself back into shape, and excellent play from him.
Yeah, I think you're right. On further inspection of the replay, it quite possibly was going just wide, but Florenzi wasn't to know that, and he had to make the block, and he did. 0-0. Germany against Italy. Intriguing contest so far. So many different facets to this game, so many mini battles going on down there, not the least between Joachim Löw, the German coach, and Antonio Conte, the Italian coach.
And we spoke about in the lead-up to this game as well, the intensity and the running from Italy. It's not been the same tonight, Connor. It's been more a disciplined performance, players prepared to sit a little bit deeper, sit in position. Very few times they've gone and really pressed Germany. They've not wanted to leave themselves exposed, and I think that's maybe playing into their own hands, because they can counter a little bit off the back of that.
Schweinsteiger, 10 yards inside the Italian half, he's given it away. Here is the hard-running Eder, the Brazilian-born striker. To the right-hand side is Storaro, tries to give it back into Eder. Pelle now comes to arrive, and it's hooked away by Benedikt Höwedes, and Germany clear their lines, and the game is stretching now. Some evidence of the beginnings of tired legs. Ozil tripped on the halfway line, and it's going to be a yellow card for Storaro. Yellow card, first of the game. He's not one of those players who will miss the semi-final should Italy go through.
I think it's for dissent, because he knows he wins the ball there, Storaro. He reads the run from Mesut Ozil, gets himself back into shape. He's frustrated, that's what it is. I think it's more for dissent. The referee, Victor Kasai, he sees it differently. He thinks it's a foul, and I think he just books him just for the outburst from Storaro.
So Storaro, the Juventus midfielder, goes into the referee's notebook. First yellow card of the game. The Hungarian official has done well so far. He's allowed this game to flow. Free kick taken short by Kroos to Hummels. Back again to Toni Kroos, and he spreads it into space with Höwedes on the right-hand side. Back into the centre circle. Jerome Boateng. Germany playing from right to left as we look down. This is 5 Live for the BBC. No goals so far, but Germany have come close in the second half. Boateng to his right. Höwedes of Schalke once again on towards Kimmich, and then the crunching tackle comes in, but the referee says that's going to be a free kick, and the referee is running over as well to De Sciglio, and he's blowing the whistle, and it's going to be a yellow card, and a yellow card for De Sciglio, who will miss the semi-final should Italy go through.
That is certainly a yellow card, more so than the last one for Storaro, which I think was dissent, but he doesn't need to make the challenge there, De Sciglio, and he's frustrated. You can see in his face, he knows it himself, he knows exactly what he's done. He's going away from play there, Kimmich. Sorry, it was Hector, wasn't it? Kimmich, sorry, it was Kimmich. So when Kimmich is going away from play, just stand, hold your ground, there's no need to make the challenge. And he's been frustrated because maybe they've had a little bit of possession, the Germans, but poor from him, and that's cost himself what could be a real big game in the semi-final.
57 minutes on the clock. Free kick for Germany. Attacking position, but it's way out by the touchline on the far side. Free kick is rolled short to Boateng. More central position. Now he delivers a good cross. Look for Schweinsteiger. Bonucci gets up for Italy, and his header clears the penalty area. Muller acrobatically flicks it onto Toni Kroos, who then turns and gives it back to the halfway line to Boateng, and Germany will start once again. Plenty of room out on that right-hand side from Mesut Ozil, who's just peeled away, looking for space. Thomas Muller by the byline. Ozil picks him out. Low cross from Muller, easily cleared away, and Italy give it long towards big Graziano Pelle, who's done well here to control it inside the centre circle. Now Storaro nearly gets the legs taken out from underneath him by Schweinsteiger. Referee says fair challenge. Good work by the Manchester United man. Oh, and then Mesut Ozil, having seen that Mario Götze has picked up an injury, rolls the ball out of play, and a yellow card has been shown down there to Parolo. So Marco Parolo gets a yellow card.
He must have left a bit on him, did he? It was just the heavy boot, the studs right into the back of Mario Gomez. Referee in a great position, just looking beyond Schweinsteiger. He sees it clearly. Parolo has been outstanding for Italy in this first 50 minutes or so of this game.
Yeah, Parolo, the man who's filling the boots, and certainly the position of Daniele De Rossi in this game, and plenty well-timed challenges. On that occasion he was high, he raked the studs on the back of Mario Gomez, and the referee at the time waved play on because Germany were coming forward, and he waited until Ozil put it out of play before then giving the booking. So because the Germans put the ball out, Italy will give it back to them. Chiellini sends it down into the other half of the field to Manuel Neuer. Germany 0, Italy 0. Don't forget, tomorrow, big one, the hosts against Iceland. France against Iceland. And what an intriguing game that's going to be. Full commentary right here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're back underway. Mats Hummels, the new Bayern Munich defender, joined from Borussia Dortmund. To his right-hand side, Jerome Boateng, once of Manchester City, of course. He gets it back here under pressure for Pelle, and that pressing game is just relentless from the Italians, and they continue to close down the German defence.
I just said before, O'Connor, it's certainly not as intense as it has been, as I've seen it in this tournament. You know, they'll maybe force one or two of the first touch of the German defenders early, that time Pelle, but behind him, as we've seen in the last few games, the midfield behind them, it's like tonight, Parolo, Sturaro and Giaccherini go immediately on the press behind. We're not seeing that tonight, because I think they know that if the Germans, how comfortable they are defensively on the ball, they can get picked off very quickly.
We have reached the hour mark in Bordeaux. Remember, one way or the other, even if we go to the full 120 minutes, we're going to get a winner here either way, even if it takes the penalties. And Germany, of course, their proud record in penalty shootouts. I was looking actually sort of just swatting up if there is to be a shootout tonight, Kevin. Only 2 Germans have ever missed a penalty at a major tournament. We'll tell you all about that if it comes to it later on, but that is certainly an atmosphere in which they're very comfortable with. Here come Germany with Thomas Müller, 10 yards outside the penalty area. To the left-hand side, Hector, corner angle of the box, sent back in a good cross, under pressure. De Sciglio hooks it away with his right boot. Good defensive clearance. Pelle wins an interesting header, and now Giaccherini can come over the halfway line. German defence slotting back into formation. Giaccherini takes the pace out of the counter-attack by returning it to Parolo, but now it's going to come back to Giaccherini, quite fortunately on the left-hand side. So Pelle makes his way into the box. Giaccherini cuts back onto his right boot, really good, sends in the deep cross. Oh, at the back post was Florenzi. He couldn't get up, and it's headed out of play by Hector, and that will be a throw into Italy on the right-hand side.
Good defending, excellent from Hector, got himself back into position. He sees the run from Florenzi, who's trying to get on the inside of him, but just picks up the flight of the ball perfectly. But again, the attack down the Italian left-hand side, it's causing problems for the Germans. Giaccherini's causing problems for Kimmich with his movement off him. Ovidius can't get out at times. He can't get out in support. He's not quite sure of his position.
Florenzi's throw, looking for Pelle in the penalty area. Good jump by Sturaro, and maybe a shot by Parolo, and he didn't catch it cleanly. He hit it down into the turf, and it repels away and wide.
No, it wasn't a comfortable strike. Better though from Pelle. Good link-up play between him and Adair.
1982 World Cup final. Italy famously beat West Germany 3-1 at the Bernabeu in Madrid. Dino Zoff, the goalkeeper back then, of course, who lifted the trophy. These nations who've met so often. Italy beat Germany in the semi-final of the 2006 World Cup. They beat them in the semis 4 years ago at Euro 2012. Tonight we find out if it'll be Germany or Italy going through to the semis of Euro 2016. Here is Chiellini turning defence into attack, up towards the halfway line, lays it off to Parolo, back to Chiellini again, strokes it with his left boot up towards Giaccherini. Giaccherini did well there, actually. He left them and they came back to the second time. He's allowed it through his legs, but Pelle was offside. But it was clever thinking by Giaccherini, who, you know, fell out of favour at the Stadium of Light with Juventus, went to Bologna. Really good season for them in Italy, and he's looked good tonight, looked good throughout the tournament.
He has. I saw him play in the Confederations Cup about 3 years ago now, Connor, over in Brazil. I thought it was excellent, and that was a season actually that he signed for Sunderland, and it's just not quite happened for him. He's not settled into the Premier League, not quite settled into life at Sunderland, but he is a player. He's certainly lively, and we've seen it again from him in this tournament. He's lively, he's exciting at times. He's just not been able to find that consistency in the Premier League.
Reminder, you can listen to us on the radio, on AM, you can listen on digital radio, you can listen via your mobile device or computer via the BBC Sport website or the 5 Live Sport website. And if you're watching on television on BBC One and you've got the various boxes, you can hit the red button and you can listen to myself and Kevin's commentary in sync with the pictures here. Could be a long night in Bordeaux. Nothing between them so far. Germany 0, Italy 0, but one way or the other there's going to be some drama here because one of them has to go through.
I was just saying to Dan at half-time, Conor, I just think this sort of game, this really intense game like it is, very little given in midfield, very little given in, either penalty area. It could come down to a mistake that could dictate the outcome of this game, a big mistake.
Muller to Gomez on the left. He's done well to keep it in play here. Sets off towards the corner flag. Florenzi with him for company. That's a great ball into the penalty area from Gomez. It's going to sit up in front of Mesut Ozil. Germany take the lead in Bordeaux. 65th minute, and it's the Arsenal man Mesut Ozil who gets his 20th international goal. He scored against the Italians in the friendly in March. He scored against the Italians at Euro 2012, and now Mesut Ozil has broken the deadlock in Bordeaux. It is Germany 1, Italy 0.
Well, look where it comes from, Conor. I think they were calling actually the Italians for that Mario Gomez was offside, but it's come from Manuel Neuer with the clearance. Was Gomez offside? We probably want to see that one again, but it's the break. And I spoke about a mistake, and it's the mistake from Stefano Sturaro. He allows Jonas Hector to run off him, and when Hector gets in a great position, he puts it right across the 6-yard box. The deflection off Bonucci, but it's Ozil. He's on the move, Conor. He gets ahead of Chiellini, and while he's on the move, he gets into a great position ahead of De Sciglio as well, and he's got a simple task of just placing it beyond Buffon. Brilliant break from Germany, but there was a mistake in that build-up by Sturaro who allowed Jonas Hector to get beyond him.
Mesut Ozil, his first goal of Euro 2016, didn't score in the qualifiers either. He has come up at a very opportune moment here for his country. And now, what do the Italians do? Big test for Antonio Conte. Germany winning possession back here in midfield with Toni Kroos. German fans unveiling a huge banner behind the goal away to our left-hand side, the end in which they've just scored. It's a German shirt with number 12 on it. German fans being the 12th man here. Schweinsteiger picks up the ball, plenty of space around him now. Midway inside the Italian half to Muller on his right-hand side. He'll give it back towards the halfway line once again. Oh, the Germans might just try to keep the ball now for as long as they can.
Well, it's different territory now for the Italians. Of course, they went behind against the Republic of Ireland, but that was a very late goal. But every other game, they've gone in front in games. They've been able to see the game through now. They've got to maybe chase it a little bit now here. They've got to maybe use that press that we've spoke about, that hard work. They might need to implement that a bit more in this second half now to try and force the issue a bit.
It's the first goal that Gianluigi Buffon has conceded at this tournament. He didn't play in the game against the Irish when Robbie Brady scored. 1-0, Germany lead here. Mesut Ozil with a very good finish. Here come Germany again. Mats Hummels started this one on the halfway line, gets to within 15 yards of the penalty area, feeds it infield to Bastian Schweinsteiger. Now Ozil again, back to Schweinsteiger, central position, back to Mesut Ozil on the right hand side. Schweinsteiger's made a run into the penalty area, no way through for Ozil to pick him out a third time though. He'll hold on to possession wide on the right hand side here, Mesut Ozil, and Italy look a little bit shell shocked here, having conceded the opening goal. Kimmich on the right hand side, back to Schweinsteiger, who's certainly made his influence in the game since coming on as an early sub for the injured Khedira. Ozil once again, back to Schweinsteiger. Germany attempting to kill Italy with 1,000 cuts here as they just pass in midfield. Now Hummels will come, gets to the edge of the D, doesn't shoot, gives it out wide to the right hand side to Kimmich, just steps inside the penalty area, back once again for Ozil, skips it up, Gomez, he's onside, backheel save by Buffon, a backheel volley by Mario Gomez was going in, and Gianluigi Buffon puts it over the crossbar.
Well, you just said there, Italy looking a little bit ragged, very disjointed. He's onside, Mario Gomez. It's a lovely ball from Mesut Ozil, but could he pick out Thomas Muller when he's going away from goal? Could he adjust his feet and get the volley on target? The lovely back heel at the end. It was a great save from Buffon, but that was a huge chance to make it 2 and perhaps put this game to bed.
Corner to Germany. We are 3/4 way through the match. Here comes the delivery, headed away inside the 6-yard box. by Storaro. Goes back out to Kroos, who had taken the corner on the right hand side. Now Germany feed it infield. Jerome Boateng. Hummels peeling away at the back post. Boateng picks him out. Hummels tries to feed it in to Gomez, but Italy briefly with it back. Italy just crumbling here. They need to get themselves together. They're not holding on to the ball in midfield, and Germany get it back once again.
Well, it's not even that, Connor. Even into the first half, they were struggling in possession, but it's out of possession at the moment. They really are struggling to gather the thoughts, get the shape back in the side. Conte's screaming. He's out of his technical area at the moment now, but it's more the fact is that when they keep losing the ball, keep giving it away, as you say, they're not filtering back into shape quick enough.
Yeah, just looking at Conte down there, he's pointing forward. He's got 3 fingers in the air, and I think he wants Italy to play with 3 up front, which they must do. They must score now, the Italians, or they are going out of Euro 2016. 20 minutes to go. This could be an interesting finish through to 90 minutes. If the Italians could get an equaliser, we could have extra time. But Germany in front, and the goal scorer on the ball at the moment. Mesut Ozil tried to feed it out to Thomas Müller. Good interception by Matteo De Scelio. Germany get it back again. Hobbit is on the halfway line, and Germany preparing a change, and they're going to bring on Julian Draxler in a few moments. But they have possession for the moment. Here is Toni Kroos, midway inside the Italy half, gives it short towards the edge of the area. Müller onto Ozil, spins around a full 360 degrees, gives it back to Kroos once again, and Italy are running and they're trying to recreate the rhythm, but they're just finding it a bit ragged now as Germany turn and give it all the way back to Neuer.
Well, Mesut Ozil starting to really run the show here, isn't he? He's getting on the ball, he's getting in possession in comfortable areas, no pressure on him when he's receiving the passes, as well as perhaps there were maybe in the first 70 minutes or 60 minutes of this game. And overall now Germany really starting to dictate play. They're starting to really push a few buttons, putting Italy under real loads of pressure here.
Bonucci forward to Pella, Graziano Pella, who's not been given a clear-cut opportunity in the game so far. De Scelio towards the edge of the box, poor ball, groans from the Italian fans as Hovides intercepts. Ball goes out of play on the far side, and that is a throw into Italy. Chiellini sprints over, wants to take it. Referee says no, because Germany are going to make a change. Chiellini's furious and he wallops the ball into the turf, and it bounces over the advertising hoardings, and we're about to find out who is coming off here to allow Draxler, Julian Draxler, the Wolfsburg winger, who's been involved in all the games so far. I wonder who he's going to come on to replace. It might actually be Gomez here, who's got a knock.
Just looking at that chance again that Gomez had, Connor, I think he should have adjusted his feet. I think he should have taken the strike on himself early, but I think it's actually Chiellini who inadvertently turns it back goal bound. Super save from Buffon.
So Gomez, the striker, comes off. Draxler, the winger, comes on. So presumably Thomas Müller will now lead the line for Germany, and Draxler wide on the left hand side, and that will allow Hector to sit back as a more conventional left-sided wing back. Big cheers for Draxler as he comes on, big cheers for Gomez as he departs. Germany 1, Italy 0. Are Germany heading for the semi-final? Game back underway. Italy send it back to Buffon. Comes out of his penalty area. Passes low to the right hand side to Barzali. Infield again to Bonucci. Müller comes to just bear down on him. Chiellini now. Over the halfway line come Italy. De Scelio on the left hand side. Good ball into Pella. Poor little flick on. He wanted to guide it into the path of Giaccherini, and he put far too much on it, and it rolls through to Manuel Neuer.
I think that's the ideal position there that Pella's taken up. Great position to receive the ball from out wide. When you're coming inside as a wide man, you want to receive the ball in that sort of area. It's a great ball played into him, but you take 2 touches, Connor. You take the touch, kill the game, and you allow the runners to move around you, and then you can feed one of those runners from deep in midfield.
Nice moment there as Thomas Müller sprinted 40 yards to try and keep the ball in play there. Wanted it to flick it for a throw-in rather than a goal kick. He did get there, but couldn't actually get at the other side of the corner flag. German fans loving that dedication though from Müller to get stuck in and to chase it down. Here come Italy with Parolo. Passes to his right hand side. Bonucci, the central defender, who's now increasingly playing like a midfielder, creeping into German territory. This is Storaro. Back to the centre circle to Chiellini. Most of his teammates in front of him. Barzali alongside him. Italy will now try to come down the right, where Bonucci has taken up a position. He's got Conte right behind him, issuing instructions. Conte says give it back. Bonucci obeys orders. Italy have it now again with Chiellini onto the left-hand side. De Chilio is up in a crossing position. Pella's waiting in there. Can the cross go? Comes in low for Pella. Really good effort, but off target. He kept it low. It flashed wide of the post. That is how Italy can get back in this game.
Chance again. It's down the left-hand side. It's Kimmich filtering back into position. He can't stop De Chilio. De Chilio with a good cross. He crosses it low and hard. And it's a movement from Pella. I actually think that Jerome Boateng's totally in control of that situation. He knows that Pella's beyond the near post, and he's almost getting himself in position. If you shoot on target, I'm blocking that. So it forced Pella to strike it off target, but better play from Italy there.
It's been a really busy day here on 5 Live Sport with Mesut Ozil's goal, having Germany in front here in Bordeaux against the Italians. Novak Djokovic knocked out of Wimbledon earlier on. We brought you that live. In the Tour de France, Mark Cavendish will wear the yellow jersey for the first time in his career tomorrow. And in the Austrian Grand Prix, it'll be Lewis Hamilton on pole when that starts. Lunchtime tomorrow, coverage at 1 o'clock on 5 Live Sport. Also earlier tomorrow, Sports Week, guests will include John Toshak talking Wales and Steve McLaren talking England. Sports Week early tomorrow morning right here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Here in Bordeaux, Italy in possession. They need to score or they are departing Euro 2016 at the quarter-final stage. Are Germany going to beat Italy for the first time ever at a major tournament? Under pressure, Sturaro sends it all the way back to Buffon. Cap number 160. The world record held by the Egyptian Ahmed Hassan is 184. And Buffon has got that in his sights. Here's a ball over the top. Pele, but Eder didn't think he was going to get onto it. Didn't sprint on. Just needed to be a bit softer from Pele. The ball over the top. Buffon says he's going to stay on until after the World Cup in Russia. He wants to get that world record of caps.
Yeah, I think he's continuously said, Connor, as well, that he doesn't want to retire himself. He will be retired in many respects. Someone will force him, which is, it's unlikely that someone's actually going to tell Gigi Buffon that he's got to retire. That was a half a chance though for Italy, Connor.
Yeah.
Better touch from Pella, and Eder made a good run.
Here he goes again. Graziano Pella flicks it on for himself. Boateng really turning on the afterburners there, though. As soon as Pella flicked it on, Boateng whizzed past him, and then it controlled him down a little bit as he wanted to clear. He wanted to put that out for a throw. Instead, it's gone for a corner. Conte out of the technical area again, full of instructions. He wants to be in control. He wants to tell his players exactly what to do here. Corner's going to be taken by Alessandro Florenzi, the Roma midfielder. And again, he turns and he checks with Conte. What do you want me to do, boss? Conte delivers the instruction. They're all up in attack here. De Chilio is the deepest lying outfield Italian, and he is midway inside the German half. Here comes the corner by Florenzi, headed away well. Good defensive header by Hovediz. It comes back out to Florenzi on his left foot this time. Good flick on by Keely. A Bizarrabo penalty! Penalty to Italy! Sensational scenes here. Jerome Boateng looks around for solace, but as the ball came in, Chiellini flicked it on. Boateng, what is he doing with his hands in the air like that? It's not a natural movement. It's the right decision from the referee. It is a penalty for Italy. It is a lifeline back into this game for the Italians.
It's come from absolutely nothing. Florenzi checks onto his left foot. It's not even a great cross. As you say, what on earth is Jerome Boateng? He's been outstanding in this game. What is he doing with his hands so high in the air? But what a chance it is. It's Bonucci on the penalty.
Bonucci, who has only scored 3 international goals. The central defender. He looks like he wants to burst the net. He is standing with intent. He's got Manuel Neuer to beat. Here he comes, right-footed. Scores! It's a brilliant penalty. Oh, he was so cool and so calm, and there was no messing about there from Leonardo Bonucci. And Italy, who have never lost to the Germans at a major tournament finals, they don't want to lose to them tonight. The handball from Boateng, the brilliant penalty from Bonucci, and this one is not over yet, not by a long shot. 1-1.
Oh, Connor, don't you just love it when the Italians score? The bench is erupted, everybody's on the pitch, all the 23-man squad, but What a penalty that is from Bonucci. The little stutter in the run-up just deceived Neuer a little bit, but he stroked it elegantly with power into the corner. Neuer no chance. What a penalty. I was surprised that Bonucci was actually taking it, Connor, but what a penalty that is.
There was a devilish look in the eyes of Leonardo Bonucci as he stood to take that penalty. This was his moment. He did not let his country down. Conte celebrated. And just to paint the little picture for you, down the other end of the pitch, Gianluigi Buffon could not watch. He turned and he looked at the German supporters, and their reaction and what he could hear from down the other end told him that Bonucci had scored. It is 1-1. It is very much game on again here with 12 minutes of the 90 remaining. Here come the Germans. Kroos scoops it to the right hand side. Very well kept in play by Kimmich and flicked in by Mesut Ozil, who earlier put Germany 1-0 in front. Here's a good cross by Schweinsteiger, headed away by Barzali. Germany have the ball midway inside Italian territory. Toni Kroos of Real Madrid to the right hand side to Benedikt Höwedes, helps it on to Kimmich once again. Italy, who had been all out chasing that goal, that equaliser, now falling back into a more defensive position, but they might counter-attack now as Florenzi sends it forward, but he can't pick out Eder, and Antonio Conte is all wild gesticulation and clicking fingers and dancing up and down and trying to tell his team what he wants them to do. They've done it so far. They're back on level terms.
Oh, he's raging at Florenzi there. It should simple pass to be played into Pella. He doesn't do it, but you know, it's his reaction, isn't it? He screams at Florenzi initially for giving the ball away, but then immediately then the reaction, get back into shape. That's what they do. Italy, they've done it so well throughout. Just when they were looking a little disjointed out of possession, Germany was starting to cause them problems. Ozil was dictating play, but that penalty, that could change it has of course changed everything in the game, but they've gone from being in such a controlled position, Germany, to this position now at 1-1, because they've not even tested Manuel Neuer in goal once, Italy, throughout this game, and that penalty comes out of nothing. And could that come back to bite Jerome Boateng?
Here is Boateng on the ball, tries to send it forward, and he picks out, there's a slip by Hector. Slip that would allow Florenzi now pick up possession. Counter-attack for Germany. He bides his time. He plays it very well to Eder. Pella hits it. It wasn't a clean shot. There was a scuff in the shot. The referee says it was deflected. It will be a corner to Italy. They very nearly punished Germany, and the slip from Hector. And just look at the atmosphere here now. The tension in the air. It is an absolute privilege to be here in Bordeaux and to watch these scenes unfolding.
This is what we wanted, Connor, from the game. You can talk about it. It was very much a tactical affair in the first half. Very intriguing to watch, it has to be said, but now it's come to life, as you say. Italy now, with that goal, they've come to life back on the counter-attack themselves with real pace going forward. I just felt, could Graziano Pella feeding Giaccherini on his left-hand side? He goes for the strike, but what a breakaway that was for Italy.
Hijinks inside the Italian end as they jump up and down. It's a bit more morose and quiet with the German fans who thought they were just 10 minutes away from a semi-final. But it's never that easy against the Italians, and once again they have left it late, and that makes it 16 of the 19 goals that Italy have scored against Germany at major tournaments have come after half-time, and they've got a really good record of scoring against the Germans in extra time as well, if it comes to that. 8.5 minutes of the regulation 90 to go.
Cross that bridge when we get to it, Connie. You can give me more stats later on, I'm sure.
We've got a few up our sleeve. Ball played forward by Parolo for Italy to Eder, who looks fresh as a daisy. Doesn't look like he's run 82 minutes. Germany clear it up to Mesut Ozil, who has scored his 20th international goal tonight, but that on its own will not be enough to send them through. Draxler back to Ozil, tackled by Storaro, who's now got to get away from Kroos. Brilliant tackle by Toni. I thought it was good. Referee says no. Free kick.
It's a great tackle, Connor, isn't it? Brilliant from Toni Kroos. He knows full well that Storaro's getting away from him. He wins the ball brilliantly. Great tackle. That's what you want, don't you, from a midfielder? You want him to be snapping into tackles, win the ball, set attacks going forward. Frustration it really is for Toni Kroos.
Germany won. Italy won. It has been a quarter-final on a grand scale here in Bordeaux. Bonucci, to his left-hand side, is Giorgio Chiellini, who was involved in winning the penalty. He was the Italian who jumped with Boateng. What was Boateng doing? Jumping with both hands in the air. Just like a volley. He was like a volleyball player at the net. That is the way he jumped. Here is Eder, midway inside the German half, tried to feed it out to De Sciglio. intercepted by Kimmich for Germany, but they can't hold on to it. Italy have just got new breath in their lungs now. This is Florenzi, controls it well into the penalty area, flips it over Hector a second time. Now the bicycle kick, sits up in front of Pella. Pella waits for it to come down. It then doesn't sit for Parolo, and he can't get the shot away. But every time Italy come forward now, they look so dangerous.
Well, we talked about Italy struggling after they conceded the goal. Now it's Germany. They look really disorganised. They can't cope with the intensity that Italy are playing at. And it's diagonal, but the diagonal ball tonight has been the one that's caused both teams problems. That time it's a diagonal ball played from left to right. Great run forward from Florenzi.
1-1 in Bordeaux, 6.5 minutes until extra time. Possession on the right hand side with Bastian Schweinsteiger. This is Toni Kroos to Draxler, wants to play a 1-2 here with Mesut Ozil. The return pass had too much on it. Barzagli wants to shepherd it out of play, and he's done well under a lot of pressure there from Draxler. He stood his ground, Andrea Barzagli, and that goes out for a goal kick to Italy. Might even be a free kick actually for that foul on Barzagli as he tried to shepherd it from going out.
Yeah, just seeing the goals on the monitor in front of us from Mesut Ozil, and the penalty from Bonucci. Excellent penalty, wasn't it, Connor? You know, it's just that little stutter in the run-up, wasn't it? I think it just deceived Neuer, who just checked a little bit to his right-hand side, but the ball placed firmly to Neuer's left. Excellent penalty.
The first goal that Germany have conceded at a finals tournament since the World Cup in Brazil. They have gone 438 minutes here in France at this tournament, Euro 2016, before finally Manuel Neuer was beaten, and only from the penalty spot. 5 minutes to go. There'll be a bit added on for stoppages, I'm sure. What a contest we have here. Two gladiator nations of world football. Very proud footballing countries. They've both now scored, but the deadlock remains. Hummels to the right hand side to Hummels. Muller's come short for him. Hummels lays it off to the Bayern Munich man. Socks beginning to creep down his shins, as they tend to do for Thomas Muller as the game wears on. Here is Boateng, who'll want to make amends for giving away that penalty. Hector, who slipped and was mightily relieved Italy didn't make it 2-1. And the Italians now are going to make their first change, and Antonio Conte is reaching to his bench and bringing on a familiar name for listeners to Premier League football on 5 Live. Is going to bring on Darmian. Matteo Darmian of Manchester United will take the place of Alessandro Florenzi, and it's not completely tactical this, because Florenzi has picked up a knock.
Yeah, he's been excellent, hasn't he?
11 kilometres he ran tonight, Florenzi.
He's been superb, Florenzi. He's been a good attacking outlet at times. He's not been able to get forward a lot, but defensively he's been superb. Second half, he's got forward at times, real energy, but he looks like a calf injury. I think that's the one he was feeling down there beneath us, Connor.
So Darmian comes on. He's 26th international cap, knows all about this sort of scene. He's been involved in many of the games so far. Came on as a sub against Spain last time out. Also came on against the Republic of Ireland the game before that. And he will slot in on the right-hand side of this Italian defence. But Florenzi put in a really good shift for the 85 minutes he was on the pitch. Here is Boateng for Germany. Spreads play wide to the right-hand side to Schweinsteiger, just outside the Italian penalty area. Is there to be a late twist here inside of 90 minutes?
How good has he been as well, Jerome Boateng, Connor? He's been outstanding, one of the best defenders in the tournament. And for him, you know, of all people, to do what he's done in the penalty area, to concede that penalty, really, really poor from him with a player of his experience.
Yeah, well, I've said it already this month, but you know, when he came to Manchester City and he was playing for Roberto Mancini, he was being played out of position because he's so fast. He was played at right back, but he is a central defender, and he's been top notch in this game, albeit he's given away the penalty which has allowed the Italians back into it. Loose ball through the middle, and out comes Buffon just to the right hand side inside his penalty area and collects possession. More urgency about the Germans now, who you sense feel they have a chance of winning this in 90. Italy, it would seem, are digging in for the siege of extra time. Buffon holding onto the ball, frustrating Draxler, who eventually runs forward towards him and forces Buffon to pick it up.
Just mentioned before, don't want to repeat myself, I suppose, but I mentioned about the mistakes, little mistakes in games. You know, it was Storaro that made the mistake for Italy, allowing Kimmich to run off him. And now, all of a sudden, the mistake from Germany has allowed Italy back in the game. So these are the fine margins at top-class international football that decide the outcome of games.
Technically, the game has been played at such a high standard that those two errors have massively shone out. Here is De Sciglio, left-hand side, cutting in on his bounce, right foot, brilliant shot, hits the side netting. He hit that from outside the penalty area. Neuer went full stretch, gets up calm as you like, nothing to bother him. But that was a nervy moment for the Germans.
Yeah, so often I've said it in the second half as well. It's down the left-hand side for Italy. That's been the way in for them. Giaccherini and De Sciglio's got forward at times, but it's more so been down to uncertainty of Kimmich and Davides getting into positions they're not quite familiar with each other's position or each other's standing in the side. That's been the one problem for them, I think, the Germans throughout the second half, and that's where you feel that Italy can really exploit if they really go and pressurise them.
De Sciglio, who had the shot there, the only AC Milan player in the Italian squad. He's a right-footed player who plays left wing back, and that suited him perfectly, cutting in on his right boot. He's never scored an international goal. What a moment that would have been had it crept inside the post. Mind you, Neuer probably had it covered. Here comes Germany. Schweinsteiger tries to flick it onto Draxler, but they're organised back there, the Italians, Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini, and they're able to clear away. Eder over the top of Hummels. Hummels accused of a foul. Oh, and a yellow card. Yellow card for Mats Hummels, who will now miss the semi-finals should Germany go through.
Yeah, I think he's saying there Hummels actually wins the ball, but there's a real breakaway on for Eder. Excellent hold-up play from Graziano Pelle. Holds it up, brings Eder into play, and there's a real breakaway down Germany's right-hand side. Both De Sciglio and Giaccherini with the energy that Giaccherini's got, getting forward into advanced positions.
Mats Hummels, who was on the losing side against Italy 4 years ago, and now if his team beat Italy here, he will miss the semi-final this time round. So Hummels for Germany, De Sciglio for Italy. Those are the two players who have picked up yellow cards tonight, triggering suspensions, which, just to confirm for you, that all gets wiped once we get to the semis. You don't miss the final if you're booked in the semi-final, but you can miss out if you're booked here in the quarters. 38,764 the official attendance. Like we said, not one of the biggest stadiums at Euro 2016, but it's been a cauldron of noise tonight. This has been a real battle. Here is Schweinsteiger. Can Germany nick it as we go past 90 minutes? Cross into the ball. Draxler gets up. He's good in the air, but he couldn't get onto that one. And it's headed away on the far side by De Sciglio. And Schweinsteiger collects for Germany and helps it back to Boateng. That was a chance.
Yeah, that's the experience of Barzagli. He sees the run of Draxler, just gets across his man, eases him under the ball. Good defending from Barzagli.
So we've played the 90 minutes. I've not seen the board. I think it's 3 minutes being added on. And don't forget, of course, before tonight, Graziano Pelle's goals at this tournament have come after 90 minutes. He's been the specialist of the injury time goal. So we've played 1 of the 3 minutes already. Is there to be the late twist? Here come Germany. Jonas Hector down the left-hand side, sends it across again. It's Barzagli, who's well positioned, takes no chances, nothing fancy, just puts it out for a German throw, which Mesut Ozil has taken already. Throws it to Mats Hummels, playing now even though he knows he would not be involved in the semis should the Germans go through. Boateng tries to hook a crossfield ball. Good delivery to Mesut Ozil. One touch to control, one to send it back in. Chiellini, brilliant. Up high above Schweinsteiger and heads it out of the penalty area. Collected though out there wide on the right hand side by Kimmich. He delivers a good cross. Muller can't get on it. De Sciglio hooks it away, right footed. They're all back defending for Italy, so Boateng has it to himself on the halfway line.
They love it, Connor, don't they? They just love defending crosses going in. Chiellini, 2 brilliant headers. You say Schweinsteiger coming in behind him, gets himself into a great position again. The next ball comes in, he immediately sets himself to clear the danger again. They just love it. They love defending. That's what, so often we see defensive players want to concentrate on being in possession of the ball, which of course is a big part of the modern game, but first and foremost, these 3 players for Italy, Bonucci, Barzagli and Chiellini, it's defend for your lives, and that's why they're getting the rewards in this tournament.
Yeah, we're watching 2 very well organised defences here. It's been a game in which there have not been many clear-cut chances at all, but lots of good attacking play, and it's just excellent defending that has kept them out. Here is Schweinsteiger, looked to be fouled from behind, and he is. by Giacorini. Free kick to Germany, 10 yards inside their own half. Boateng wants to get on with it. Germany want to win this in the regulation 90 minutes, of which we've only got 10 seconds of stoppages left to go. Mesut Ozil down the left-hand side, and that is that. We are going to have an additional half hour here in Bordeaux because the 90 minutes has not been enough to separate them. Mesut Ozil of Arsenal put Germany in front in the 65th minute, but a brilliant penalty from Leonardo Bonucci levels it at 1-1, and it ain't over yet, Kevin Kilbane.
Yeah, well, the game looked to be getting away from Italy, it has to be said. As soon as Germany got that goal, brilliant finish from Mesut Ozil, they were starting to dictate play really well, moving the ball quickly, and they were starting to get a bit scrappy, Italy, but that penalty, that gift from Jerome Boateng has allowed Italy the penalty. Bonucci finished it so well, but the game has been changed and unhinged on that decision from Boateng to put his hands in the air.
It feels like it's on a knife edge, Dan Walker. We don't yet know who will face France or Iceland in the semi. For now, Germany 1, Italy 1. Thanks very much, Dan. Just a stat coming through to us from our friends at Opta to say that was the first penalty Leonardo Bonucci had ever taken in his professional career outside of a shootout.
Amazing,
He's never stood up during a game.
Well, do you know what it is, Colin? I'm sure they've been practicing them. You say you look at the attention to detail that Antonio Conte goes through. So he's obviously been impressive in the penalties. You know, when they've been taking them, you would imagine it would have been someone like Graziano Pella who's taken them before. But very, very surprising that it's Bonucci. But it looks like he's taken them all his career, doesn't it?
Here we go then, another 30 minutes. Myself and Kevin have nowhere to go anyway, so let's just sit and enjoy this in Bordeaux. Two heavyweights going toe to toe, 1-1 into extra time. Germany back playing from left to right as we look down, and the Italians in their blue jerseys straight into the faces of the Germans again. And Antonio Conte, well, this is where you would love to be the fly in the wall. You'd love to hear what he was saying to the players during that short break.
I'm sure he just said, you know, after the goal, just look to, as I said before, looked a bit raggy. Just get yourself back, get your composure back. Just, you know, see it through if necessary. If it goes to penalties, it goes to penalties, but do not lose your shape. Stay disciplined and see it through like he did in that first 45 minutes.
Reminder, Germany have got Neuer in goal. Buffon here has had to come out of his penalty area, but he dealt with that well and cleared it away. Hovedes, Boateng and Hummels like the de facto three-man central defence, with Kimmich on the right, Hector on the left, Schweinsteiger and Kroos in the middle of the midfield, Müller, Ozil and Draxler, who's come on as a sub, up front. Now a yellow card has just been shown to Graziano Pella, and Pella, who's one of those who would be on a suspension, so he would now joins De Sciglio in the position of that if Italy go through, he will not be playing in Marseille in the semis. Just a late tackle on Boateng after the ball had been cleared away.
Well, it's a bad one as well, actually. It's a bad one down the Achilles of Jerome Boateng. And Pella's very, very late, you know. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He expects, or he's hoping, I think, that the referee doesn't see it because the ball's well in advance of the referee at that particular time, but it might be the assistant referee at the far side that actually sees that. But it's a poor challenge from Pella, and he deserves a yellow card.
Completely dark skies now overhead here in Bordeaux. 9 o'clock kickoff local time as Hovedes plays it forward, bounces once into the Italian penalty area, and Bonucci comes across to clear. Oh dear, his clearance has gone straight to Toni Kroos. Kroos doesn't go forward, however, turns, gives it back into the centre circle to Mats Hummels, over to wide on the left with Jonas Hector. Good little movement in field. It's left initially by Müller, and then they can't get a shot in here, Germany. It comes back to Schweinsteiger on the edge of the penalty area. Hovedes makes himself available on the right hand side. Well, they seem to be queuing up just for a moment there, Germany, but no shot at the end of it. Crossed by Kimmich, diving header away by Chiellini. There was a high leg from Müller. Müller tried to kick it. Chiellini took boot and ball and headed both of them away, if you like, and the referee says high leg. Free kick to Italy.
Yeah, it's funny that way. I think he's just saying there, Thomas, well, yeah, it's a foul, but why scream? Why go down there? You think, you know, good, you know, loving it there really from Gigi Buffon, who's coming out of his area. I think he just screamed, look, it's a foul, yeah, but why scream?
Well, you can see
He's a little rattled there, Thomas Muller. Oh, we've just seen on our replay, he's done this sort of wah baby face to Chiellini, and to say, okay, I fouled you, but really, do we need the amateur dramatics? That's well spotted by Kevin Kilbane there. I didn't see it until the replay. Play back underway here. Eder to the left-hand side to Giaccherini, gets to the corner of the box. His cross has got too much on it. There's no one on the back post for the Italians, and that goes all the way out of the penalty area and out of play for a throw-in. So Neuer, the goalkeeper for Germany, Hovedes, Boateng, Hummels, Kimmich and Hector, the back five, Schweinsteiger and Kroos in the midfield, Muller, Ozil and Draxler, the front three. The Italians have got Buffon within the regular BBC, Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini. Darmian has come on to play on the right-hand side, De Sciglio on the left, Parolo, Sturaro and Giaccherini, with Eder and Pelle up front. Pelle of Southampton, Graziano Pelle, who's not been given a clean-cut chance, but he's done so much good build-up work for his team.
The longer the game's gone on as well, Connor, he's got into the game and he's starting to hold the ball up much better. He's starting to bring teammates into the game. Just felt that one as well, the little break there for Giaccherini again down the left hand side. Giaccherini's worked so hard for his side. If he gets his head up, he can pick out Pelle, who's made a really good run, a clever run to the edge of the penalty area. Just get your head up in that position and look to pick a teammate out. Don't just drill it across 6-yard box. Poor cross from Giaccherini when he had a real chance to pick out Pelle.
4 minutes played in extra time. Italy in possession, playing from right to left as we look down. Blue jerseys, white shorts, blue socks. Played by Parolo to the right hand side to Barzagli, and back into the man who scored the penalty during the regulation 90, Leonardo Bonucci. If you're just joining our coverage here, Ozil put the Germans in front. Bonucci from the penalty spot made it 1-1. We are in extra time. Eder waits for the arrival of Matteo Darmian on the right hand side. There's no cross initially. There might be now though from Barzagli. Sends it across but outside the penalty area to pick out the left wing back to Sciglio. Short pass to Chiellini. Italy playing the ball inside the German half. Schweinsteiger comes out to put pressure on Bonucci. Bonucci stabs it forward, but it's headed down by Toni Kroos. Schweinsteiger maybe with a high foot there, and he has conceded a free kick. Free to Italy, just inside the centre circle.
It's the reaction of the Italy players when they give the ball away. That time it's Sturaro, Connor, give the ball away, Chiellini. Poor ball from Chiellini actually, but how many times that have we seen throughout this tournament when Italian players give it away? It's the demands that Antonio Conte puts on them. Win the ball back quickly, filter into position as quickly as you can, and that's what Sturaro does there and wins it back, and he buys his side a foul. Now it's more Italy going forward. They started this half actually really well, Italy.
Nice little flick there by Pelle for Eder, and then he does a little swivel, looked like Hal Robson-Kanu last night there, but couldn't give it back to Pelle. And the Germans are happy to see it out for the goal kick. But those two, there is so much evidence that they're going to produce something, those two, if they're given long enough.
Well, they're finding an easier path through to Pelle now at the moment. It's coming from De Sciglio or Parolo. Parolo's just come over onto the left-hand side a little bit as well. And they're finding an easier pass through to Pelle. Pelle's holding up really well. Excellent movement ahead of him from Eder. And that in turn is then freeing up Giaccherini. There's getting a little bit of joy from that at the moment, Italy.
Extra time in Bordeaux. Don't forget France play Iceland tomorrow. The winner of tonight and the winner of tomorrow will play each other in a semi-final, with Wales already penciled in to play the Portuguese. Bale against Ronaldo will bring you all the games live, of course, here on BBC Radio 5 Live. As Ozil rolls it in towards Thomas Muller. Muller can't collect. Italy try to give it up to Pelle, and then he in turn is dispossessed. And then strong challenge. Parolo's already been booked. Goes in on Ozil, and it's just a free kick to the Germans.
It's funny, Con, every time one of the Italian players commits a foul, who's the first person they look to? Conte. What's Conte going to say? How is he going to react to it? Every time there's a foul committed or something on the pitch. You said there about Florenzi in the second half down below us, taking a corner. He's looking to Conte for guidance on what he should do on the pitch. It's an amazing relationship that these Italian players have with Antonio Conte.
And boy, does Conte give the guidance as well. I mean, he's kicking every ball. Giaccherini taking an age to retreat back the 10 yards, just trying to frustrate the Germans. Not had many free kicks like this in the game, actually. It's midway inside the Italian half. It's too far out for a shot, but very much a platform here for Toni Kroos to try and produce something. Draxler, an obvious target of the back post. Schweinsteiger's there as well. It came all the way through to Schweinsteiger, but Thomas Muller got in a tangle with Bonucci, and that is a free kick. Muller committing the foul, and that relieves the pressure for the Italians.
Yeah, he's just getting into a few scraps at the moment, isn't he? Thomas Muller.
He's wound up.
Yeah, he is. He's very much wound up, and it was a clear push on Chiellini. Chiellini, as we've seen, goes over. If there's any sort of contact with him, he goes over. He's buying his team a foul.
This is 5 Live for the BBC. Tomorrow morning on Sports Week, John Toshak and Steve McLaren discuss the week's happenings. We've got the Austrian Grand Prix from lunchtime, the 6:06 with Kelly Cates and Chris Waddle at 5:30, and we'll bring you full commentary on that France-Iceland game from 8 o'clock. Here is De Chilio, crossfield ball, left to right, 10 yards outside the German penalty area. Very difficult for Damian to receive, though he does his best, and he forces it out for a throw-in. Throw-in to Italy on the far side, and Antonio Conte's team will remain on the attack. He's down there, the blue jersey, the Italian crest emblazoned onto the left chest of it, as the ball is played forward, and Jovedes does well to win in the air against Pella, and then Muller controls expertly and gives it to Draxler on the left hand side. Darmian nibbles in, wins the ball, puts it out for a Germany throw.
I think Italy the better side in this half, Conor. The start of extra time, they're dictating play, keeping the ball much better. Parolo's enjoying good spells on possession, as is Sturaro alongside him as well. So even with Giaccherini, that midfield three, they're starting to get the foot on the ball more, dictating it more, and not allowing the Germans to be the dictators like they have been for a majority of this match.
It's gone past 11 p.m. local time here in Bordeaux. It's still a warm evening here on the western coast of France, as Ozil feeds it infield to Toni Kroos. Giaccherini tries to nip in, but although he gets the ball, he can't control it, and it goes out for a throw. He's a jack in the box, Giaccherini, isn't he? Just running, bouncing, springing, just putting pressure on the German defence whenever they feel that maybe they should have a little bit more time on the ball.
I think it's that lack of pizzas and non-wholemeal pasta that Antonio Conte instills upon the side. I think that's what's doing Italy favours here.
I like the Bulgarian side of play. I like the expression when he was Juventus coach. His mantra to his squad was, "You've got to eat grass." You know, that's the work rate he wants. Just eat the grass.
Was another Conor say he doesn't allow his players to eat carrots? So I think it's carrots he said as well. I don't know where that one's come from, but
I'd say he is a great man for notions, is Antonio Conte. I'd say there's quite a few directives.
Giovanni Trapattoni didn't allow us to eat mushrooms. He said, he used to say to us, never eat mushrooms. No mushrooms. So that was maybe an Italian thing as well.
And him from the land of the truffles in northern Italy. Hang on, here's a chance for Germany. Muller hits it, deflected off Chiellini, and out for a corner. Corner on the right hand side. Italy looking to eat the grass. Germany sending the players forward. Ozil places the ball for the corner. German fans clapping in unison like they're the Iceland supporters. Corners played short to the edge of the penalty area. Kroos to Kimmich, back to Kroos. Oh, that's a really dangerous delivery to the back post. You know, there was no German behind him, but Parolo wasn't to know that, and he takes a touch and he puts it out for a corner, and Buffon immediately runs over applauding and said, yes, that was the right thing to do. No chances now.
I mean, I think he's right there, because Barzaghi's not in a great position himself. He can't see what's coming behind him, and says, as Parolo gets himself back into position, he knows that if he heads it back in towards goal, then there's going to be trouble for his side, so he deals with it. That's what you do as a defender, is deal with it and then face the consequences later.
The clock clicks on to 101 minutes. It's 1-1 here in Bordeaux. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Again, the Germans take the corner short. This has been a consistent tactic throughout the tournament. Boateng here is miles out, shoots low, and is miles wide. Kept it low, kept it forceful, nowhere near the target.
No, he's never gonna really test anyone from that sort of range.
Jerome Boateng, who got his first international goal last time out against Slovakia. He also was in the team 4 years ago when Germany were beaten by Italy in the semis at Euro 2012. So 1-1 here. Graziano Pella of Southampton loops it out to the far side to Darmian of Manchester United. In close to him was Hector, but he couldn't get it cleanly. Italy hold on to possession, played by Sturaro through Chiellini onto Marco Parolo, and he will now attack the edge of the penalty area. Giaccherini is available outside and wide on the left. Goes around Toni Kroos. Referee says that Kroos... Oh, well, what about this? It's a yellow card to Giaccherini for diving. Toni Kroos said, I didn't touch him. Referee agrees and says that Giaccherini was trying to win a free kick. He's gone down too softly.
Foul, isn't it? It's a foul. That is a foul. You know, it's because he's going over, I suppose, as well, that the referee thinks he's died. I don't think he's on a yellow, Conor, anyway. So I think he's okay. He's got away with that. I think he is. He's waving his finger at the referee because I think it is a foul there. Giaccherini's got into a good position out wide, and he maybe senses when he feels the contact is going over, because he senses his team's in a good position, an advanced position that can put the ball into Germany's penalty box again.
Giaccherini, who scored against Belgium in Italy's opening game. Imagine if you missed a semi-final for a moment like that. Yellow card. Anyway, free kick has been taken. Germany have possession inside their own half with Mats Hummels to the left-hand side. Jonas Hector, the Cologne left-back, who's been linked with a move to the Premier League and to Liverpool. Here come the Germans now down the right-hand side. Hovedis back into Schweinsteiger. Good ball to Toni Kroos. The world champions building steady progress towards the edge of the penalty area, then it breaks down. Mesut Ozil had made a decent dart towards the edge of the box, but couldn't control it. It runs through to Buffon.
He's been a bit quiet, Ozil, since the Italy goal, hasn't he? He was starting to run the show at times to that second half after the goal. He took his own goal brilliantly, but he's just gone a bit quiet, particularly in this extra time. He's not been able to dictate like he was doing certainly in the second half. Just needs to get himself back in this match and start to get Germany on the front foot going forward.
1-1 in Bordeaux. Extra time flying by. We've got 1 minute to go until half time in these additional 30 minutes. Neuer bowls the ball out overarm over to Jonas Hector on the far side. Germany playing left to right as we look down. This is Toni Kroos. Quick 1-2 with Schweinsteiger. This is the longest Bastian Schweinsteiger has played in a long time. Hasn't started a game for Manchester United since January. He's come on after 15 minutes tonight. So he's now played in effect a full 90 minutes, if you like. And it'll been a long time since he's done that. Hovedis leaves the ball for Kimmich, and Conte continues to direct like he's conducting an orchestra. Just a little check with the drums and the brass and the strings, and points towards the lead vocalist. Not yet for you. It's constant bellowing down there.
He almost dictates the press, Connor, He dictates the press. Someone always looks aside. It's either a whistle or a little signal, and then the press comes on altogether. In unison, every Italian player join that press.
And there is the whistle. Half-time in extra time. It is as it was at the end of 90 minutes. It is Germany 1, Italy 1. We are 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout. Would the Germans be fancying that, I wonder?
It's a game, isn't it, Connor? What a game this is. Tremendous excitement. At times I think Italy have really come to the fore since they've got the penalty, since they've scored the penalty, starting to get on top through that extra time period there.
Only once have the Germans lost a shootout. That was Czechoslovakia, the famous Panenka penalty in 1976. The Italians, who have won 3 of the last 4, but it may not come to that. Dan Walker, who has been plenty evidence that these two might produce a winner before 120 minutes. For now, Germany 1, Italy 1. Thank you very much, Dan. We're back underway. The poor referee was trying to get a pretty much immediate turnaround there, which of course never happens because both sets of players go to the touchline and get a drink and get the instructions from the coaches, and a few of them getting little rub downs from the masseuses, and you can see the referee from Hungary said, come on, it's supposed to be an immediate turnaround, but nothing doing. Back underway, 15 minutes to go here of play, and if that doesn't separate them, it's a penalty shootout between Germany and Italy. But I don't know, I have a funny feeling, Kevin Kilman, I think someone's going to pop up with a winner here. There's been chances. Here is Mesut Ozil, midway inside the Italian half, rolls it to the right hand side to Kimmich. He's already in a crossing position here, 10 yards from the corner flag, cuts it back again to Ozil, shapes his body so he can pass it left footed to Toni Kroos, back out to Kimmich again on the right hand side. Italy, who are leaving Pella up front, the Southampton striker, everyone else back behind the ball. Germany back to playing right to left as we look down. Toni Kroos, that's a glorious ball, leaned back as he sent it out to Mesut Ozil on the right hand side near the touchline. Now Schweinsteiger rolls it under his studs, really good cross. Barzagli beats Draxler, comes back down. Draxler tries to hook it in over his head, and he's not that far away. It hits the roof of the net. Barzagli's header wasn't at all as assured as it appeared to be initially.
No, that's a chance, Connor. He's just trying to hit it back beyond him there. Barzagli gets into position. As you said, over a kick from Draxler. He knows his position. He senses that there's a little bit of pressure on him from Darmian. Good chance. Really good chance.
Now Eder has got a problem here, and Italy are going to make a change. So they're going to bring on Insigne. Now Insigne, myself and Kevin saw him in Lille. He came on and hit the post against the Republic of Ireland. He also did well when he came on against Spain, but they won't. This will not suit the Italians. Eder's a very important cog in their machine. They'll be sorry to see him leaving the field.
He's played well. Again, the longer the game's gone on, he's come into the game a little bit more. When maybe a few tired legs have come into the game, that's when Eder's come into it. But as you say, Insigne was excellent when he came on against Ireland. He caused problems, he was lively, so it just gives a little bit of freshness to Italy's attack now.
So Lorenzo Insigne, the Napoli forward, comes on very short player. He's barely 5'4". He is 6 centimetres shorter than Lionel Messi, just to paint the picture for you listening on the radio. But he'll nip in and he'll try and win the ball, and he's very quick and flash once he gets it. Here is Bella, who's the opposite, big, tall, burly, hooks it out to Giaccherini on the left-hand side. Giaccherini sets off towards the corner flag, gives it back now to Insigne. This is what he loves, to cut in off the left wing. Here he comes, right-footed shot, immediately blocked down by Joshua Kimmich, and Germany regained possession, and Italy are caught up the field here. Chance of a breakaway. Julian Draxler, 3-on-2 if he's quick enough. Brilliant ball in front of Muller. Oh no! It's in front of Muller, but Muller can't get onto it, and a chance goes a-begging, and the Germans took the wrong option. Here is Schweinsteiger, 10 yards out, has a little dip outside the penalty area, can't get the dip on it, and it goes sailing over the crossbar. But Draxler, he did everything right in the run, and then he pushed it too far in front of Thomas Muller, and Muller's curse of not scoring at a Euros continues.
Real frustration there for Thomas Muller. He knows he's in on goal, he's got a clear sight of Gigi Buffon, but it's just overhit. Great breakaway. As soon as Italy's pushed bodies forward, as soon as they get out of position, that's when the German players sense there was a real good attack for them going forward, and Draxler did so well to beat a couple of challenges before just overhitting that pass. But what a chance it was for Germany.
Well, this is where I find this game fascinating, because when the Italians press, boy do they press, and then they were cut out and very nearly an overlap and a counter-attack for the Germans. And you know, for so often it's the game of chess. It's slow, but suddenly it bursts into life, this game, and it'll be interesting to see what Conte and Lod do now. 109 minutes on the clock. Germany won, Italy won. This is 5 Live from the BBC. If you missed the commentary earlier, Mesut Ozil put Germany in front. That was just after the hour mark. Bonucci with an expert penalty, the first that he had taken of his professional career from, you know, in terms of outside of a penalty shootout. And he beat Manuel Neuer to make it 1-1. Here is Chiellini, chesting it down under pressure from Draxler. Hooks it to the left-hand side. De Sciglio, not a great ball, but he got away with it. And that is a good ball by Parolo. Over the top, Insigne will chase, but it bounces through to Neuer. And Neuer, who's not been very busy tonight for long patches, but boy, is he alert when he needs to be.
Well, again, it's Boateng, isn't it? Boateng, sorry. He reads the situation. It's the poor ball from, say, De Sciglio. Total miss it, wasn't it, before it's come inside. I think it's Parolo, just turns it round the corner, frees up what looked like Insigne, but it's Boateng. He reads situations so well. Superb he has been tonight, apart from the penalty he conceded.
German technical area scattered with bottles as Jogi Löw just walks his way through them, eyes on the game. To his right hand side, Antonio Conte again outside of his technical area, waving the arms. He's trying to control his teams like a puppeteer. He's trying to pull the strings and get them to do what he wants. Here is Toni Kroos, changes the flow of play back to the right hand side. Kimmich wasn't expecting it, runs it out of play. Throw into Italy, still 1-1.
Yeah, it's definitely contrasting personalities within the technical areas. Joachim Löw is, you know, very much chilled. He's very relaxed. The players know, they can sense that he's there, but contrast that with Antonio Conte patrolling. You know, he doesn't stand still, continuously moving from left to right, coming even out of his technical areas. At the moment he's over the shoulder of the fourth official.
10 minutes to go in extra time. Kroos to the right to Kimmich, 10 yards outside the penalty area, coming in off the touchline. De Sciglio tried to get close. Germany hold on to possession. This is Schweinsteiger back to Mats Hummels. Interesting, when Schweinsteiger came on earlier, and you know, Neuer is the captain for this tournament, has started all the games. As soon as Schweinsteiger came on, he was given the captain's armband. Good little reverse ball there by Kimmich into the penalty area. Muller can't make it stick. Giaccherini nips in, regains possession for Italy, and they should clear away now. This is Chiellini. To his right hand side is Barzali, and that's a good ball in front of Insigne, who just couldn't get onto it, and Hummels is able to help it back to Manuel Neuer. Germany in possession. Hummels to Schweinsteiger, who's dropped midway inside his own half, just brushes off Storaro there, and that was like a handoff in rugby, and he's going to be yellow carded for it. Yellow card for Bastian Schweinsteiger, waving his fingers into the face of Stefan Storaro, and that is a yellow card for Schweinsteiger.
Well, do you know what? He's not actually meant to do that. He's just meant to just try and palm him off. He knows himself. That's good play from Schweinsteiger. It's just because he says Storaro's just a little bit low. He catches him in the face, but he's just trying to just palm him off. Just put his hand in his chest, almost like what Paul Gascoigne used to do years ago. Yeah. Palm someone off, put your hand in his chest, just ease them away from you so you get yourself an extra yard. I think that's a poor decision again from the referee.
Free kick to Italy. They don't just pump it into the penalty area. It's given back to the back four. Now Chiellini. Forward to Pella. He's been allowed to turn here, Pella. Graziano Pella feeds it into Insigne. Insigne's onside. Nutmeg. Shoot. Saved by Neuer. He nutmegged Boateng. He kept the shot low. The clearance from Neuer hits the heels of the referee, and the referee blows the whistle. Deary me.
Well, he's given obstruction there on.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I think that's why, didn't he? Sense there's a mistake on the cards.
He was looking for anything to blow for there. The Hungarian referee Viktor Kasai. The clearance from Neuer, the referee is 20 yards away from it, but it's low and hard. It hits the heels of the referee. It should just be play on.
Yeah.
It bounced back into the penalty area, and Italy could have scored.
What
Can you imagine
play.
if that had decided this game?
What great play, though, from Pella and Insigne, wasn't it? Pella, excellent hold-up play. Great awareness to find Insigne, and just the angle's probably against him. He's never really going to beat Neuer from that position.
No, he's just a little bit something different, Lorenzo Insigne, and we saw it there with a nutmeg on Boateng and the shot which was saved by Neuer. Germany now come on the attack. 113 minutes played, 1-1 on 5 live. Toni Kroos, ball into the penalty area. They allow it to bounce the Italian defence, knowing it is going out for a goal kick. Look at Conte again.
Yeah.
Just waving the arms.
See, I don't know how he's given a foul there on Pella. So he just out to clear it. Brilliant though from Pella. Just seeing the chance again there. He is onside. It's Boateng that plays him onside. Lovely feet from Insigne.
1-1 it remains, and Antonio Conte looking like one of those men on the tarmac at an airport, directing the pilot as they come in, waving the arms, 1 up, 1 down, 2 up together, issuing the instructions to his team as Giaccherini tries to press Hobedes. Hobedes goes down the channel, right hand side, 1 from Muller. Muller goes down in a big heap, and the assistant who was close to that said he was fouled by Chiellini, and there's no wow baby face this time, and there's a little high five between the two of them, and Chiellini accepting that he did clip Muller as Muller ran through there. Mind you, Muller went down a bit dramatically himself.
Muller's giving Chiellini a taste of his own medicine there, isn't he? Muller there, good little handshake at the end of it. It was a foul
between the two of them. They both know. If you missed that earlier, Muller did a big sort of pretend crybaby face at Chiellini, saying that Chiellini had dramatically wailed when he was fouled, and I think that was just a mirror image there the other way around. Almost, here we go. In fact, 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes on the clock in Bordeaux, 1-1. Is there to be a winner in these 5 minutes, or are we going to have a penalty shootout? Draxler runs over the ball, played in by Kroos, headed away by Storaro. Referee has seen some pushing, and I think he's going to order for the free kick to be retaken. Pushing before the free kick came in.
Do you know what they do though, the Italians? Before the ball's played in, there's a little bit of holding on from Chiellini on Boateng. He's looking for the penalty, but they almost get a block on before a player can get a run on them. So they put the block on, hand into the chest, and then they drop into position. That's why they always seem to have half a yard when the ball's played into the area.
There are all sorts of dark arts taking place down there, because there's blocks, but there's counter blocks. The Germans are putting players in front of their own teammates to be able to be the second player to run through. Here's the delivery from Toni Kroos, headed away by Parolo, who's really stepped up for Italy tonight, and it's collected for Germany by Hector on the left hand side, gives it to Boateng, who's cut out of position here, wide in the left, and for a moment I thought he'd given away possession. Germany get it back again. Mats Hummels, here's a delivery too close to Buffon gathers it easily. 1-1.
Yeah, good movement from Schweinsteiger. Comfortable though for Buffon. Just easier. You can just see the experience that Buffon has. Just steadies everybody down, gets himself filtered back into position quickly, and just he dictates so well, Buffon, his defence. I know that defence is so well organised and so experienced, but when you've got a goalkeeper like him behind them, it certainly helps the system defensively, doesn't it?
20 years since Germany last won the European Championships. They were runners-up in 2008. They were in the semis in 2012.
Are they going to proceed past the quarter-finals here at Euro 2016? We've got just over 3 minutes of extra time to go. The Germans and penalties. We all know the old Gary Lineker saying. Is it to come to pass? Can the Italians? What a moment for Buffon if he's got to face the penalty shootout. Two top goalkeepers here. But we're not at that stage yet. Tony Kroos, 15 yards outside the penalty area. To the right is Schweinsteiger. They'll be patient, these German players. They've been in worse holes than this before and they've come out of them. Ozil plays a 1-2, gets it back again from Muller, gives it back into Muller, flicks it on, there's appeals for a handball, nothing doing. Barzagli kept his hands down, it hit him up around the shoulder. Play on, says the referee. Pelle now, trying to launch a counter-attack. Germany are very organised, they've got back into position. Pelle, good ball, infield to Storaro. Onto Parolo. Germany have got back though, 9 men behind the ball. Parolo looks up, Pelle's made the run, too far in front of him, and it goes out for a goal kick. There are just over 2 minutes of extra time to play.
Top class centre forward play there from Graziano Pelle, looking for the penalty. No penalty there. Excellent for Barzagli. He knows, doesn't he, as the scoop comes in from, I think it's Thomas Muller, he just adjusts himself and heads it clear. But brilliant as the ball's played into Pelle, good movement around him as well, recognises he has to take 5-6 touches or whatever it is, and just gets the Italy players up in an advanced positions beyond him.
The winners will play either France or Iceland. 1-1 for now in Bordeaux. Draxler to Kroos, midway inside the Italian half, trying to make the pitch bigger, spreading it out wide to Kimmich on the right. Here is Boateng more centrally, tries to give it outside of the right boot. Nice build up. Ozil hits it. That was on target but saved by Buffon.
Good strike, cleanly hit, but Buffon right behind it. Good break, wasn't it? Boateng stepping in, good little first time layoff from Thomas Muller, and he had to adjust himself, had to adjust his position there. Mesut Ozil adjusted himself well because it was a difficult skill to try and get that half volley on target. But Buffon read it, brilliant goalkeeping again.
The clock ticks on and we are now into the final minute of extra time. Germany, who haven't missed a penalty since 1982, have only ever missed, in their entire footballing history at the major tournaments, all the knockout games they've been in, they've only ever missed 2 penalties at a spot shootout. Almost a chance for Insigne, rolled it in front of Boateng, but he couldn't get around the other side, and Neuer was able to come out and grab it. Oh, a little rattle there. Neuer bowled it out. Hector couldn't control it, and it goes for a throw into Italy. Conte's out again, walking onto the pitch, giving the instructions. Throw into Italy, 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, he's just calming everything down. Insigne's made an impact, hasn't he? He's made a good little impact on this game since coming on.
Late change coming. He's going to bring on Zaza. Now this is surely because he wants Zaza to take a penalty. Going to bring on the striker Zaza. And do you know what that was? Right, Conte told Chiellini to go down.
He doesn't want him to take a penalty.
Right, so Chiellini, oh dear, right, clear. Now suddenly he's okay, bounces up, walks off. Chiellini off, central defender who doesn't want a penalty. We bring on the striker Zaza, and Zaza's now saying, well, where do I play? Do I play in defence?
He's on a yellow card though, isn't he, Chiellini? Yeah. So he sensed the yellow card coming his way, so as you say, immediately bounced back up onto his feet.
Oh, Antonio Conte, he is going to be good fun next season with Chelsea. I can just sense it. So Zaza comes on. He'll be enlisted to take a penalty. And we are now into stoppage time at the end of extra time. So do Germany have time for one last chance here? They have a goal kick. Neuer, I don't know, does he fancy penalties? He's in no rush to take the goal kick here. Rolls it out short. And there we go. 120 minutes has not separated these two heavyweights. Germany won, Italy won. It finishes. We are going to have a penalty shootout here in Bordeaux. Kevin.
What a good game, really enjoyable game. You know, we didn't have too many chances really across the 120 minutes, but such an intriguing match to watch, you know, particularly when you see that once that Germany get that goal, start to really dictate play, start to really look like they're going to press home and get that second goal. But that handball from Jerome Boateng has changed this game around, and it just makes it even more intriguing. If you do go out, Connor, and that decision or that that decision from Boateng, who was outstanding across the game, to do that,
Yeah. You know, Dan, I'm just looking down the body language of Antonio Conte. He's pleased with this. Start to the tournament, nobody was fancying Italy. It was like that quote, the worst Italian team in 50 years. Boy, they'd have taken this to get to the quarterfinals, to bring Germany to penalties, and to have a shootout now to claim a place in the semi-final. It's a horrible way to lose a match, but for neutrals like we are tonight, what entertainment. Man against man. And the first man for the Italians is Insigne. Lorenzo Insigne of Napoli came on as a substitute, smallest man on the pitch. And up against Manuel Neuer, who's dancing inside his goal mouth, back at the base of the net. Now he comes forward, bouncing up and down on the line. Insigne right-footed, scores! Italy take the lead in the penalty shootout. Insigne cool as ice.
He wasn't having any of it, was he, Insigne? He wasn't having any of the dancing around from Neuer, and he just composed himself, got himself into position, set himself Insigne, and just stroked it to Neuer's left-hand side, sending Neuer the wrong way. Brilliant start for Italy.
Can you imagine the pressure if you're German and you've grown up with this culture of winning penalty shootouts, and then you find yourself, suddenly you're the man who has to step up. Toni Kroos of Real Madrid, first for the Germans. It'll be right-footed against Buffon, scored! Buffon guessed the right way, he was a whisker away, but it's a brilliant penalty from Toni Kroos. It's 1-1.
Well, he walked up to the ball there, Toni Kroos, he steadied himself again, but he generates more than enough power to get it beyond Buffon. Brilliant penalty again, away to Buffon's right-hand side.
Next up for Italy, Zaza, the striker who was brought on with seconds to go. Conte told Chiellini to go down injured, and Zaza has come on. It's a straight-on run. He's looking at the ball dead on. Here he comes now, dancing up to make it a left-footed shot. Dancing, and he's missed! It's a terrible penalty! He was like a character in the cast of Riverdance, the way he approached that, hopping up and down, one foot to the other, trying to force a movement from the goalkeeper. Neuer was not to be fooled, and Zaza, the man specifically brought on for the penalties, has missed.
Oh, Connor, he was like Michael Flatley stepping up there. I don't know what he's doing, but oh no, disaster for him. What a substitution as well. He's the man to come
Thomas
on.
Müller for Germany, saved by Buffon. It's still 1-1. What about this? Thomas Müller scores for fun at World Cups, cannot score at a Euros.
He's not even looking at the ball there, Thomas Müller. He's looking at Gigi Buffon in goal. He's waiting for Gigi Buffon to dive, but Gigi Buffon's having none of it.
Do you know when they say give him the eyes? Yeah. Thomas Müller tried to give the eyes to Gianluigi Buffon. You do not give the eyes to Buffon, he gives them to you. They've both scored one, they've both missed one, and now the latest penalty for Italy, scored by Barzagli. Just dinked it over Neuer. It was almost Panenka territory. It was like a powerful Panenka. He ran up and he dinked it powerfully. Neuer diving, it went straight down the middle, and it is 2-1 to Italy.
Well, I think he just sensed Barzagli as he's stepping up. He knows that Neuer's picking away and diving, so he waits for Neuer to dive to his left and just strokes it on down the middle. Good penalty from Barzagli.
Germany have taken two. They have scored one. Uli Hoeneß, Uli Stenkelike, and now the latest man to join that list, Thomas Müller. Here is Mesut Ozil, left-footed penalty. He scored in the game. He's hit the post. He's hit the post. Mesut Ozil, and after missing two penalties in shootouts in almost 40 years, Germany have missed two back to back. This is incredible.
Oh, he's calm, he's composed, and you fancy him, don't you, Connor? As soon as Buffon dives to his right-hand side, you think the net's bulging. Oh, unfortunate for him, it's back off the post.
If Italy score their next two, they've won. Graziano Pella comes forward, the Southampton striker, number 9, hops up, pushes his shirt, here he comes, right-footed, wide of the goal from Pella, and the pressure inside this stadium in Bordeaux is affecting these players. Müller
Ozil and now Pella have all missed.
That's a shocker, Connor. That really is from Pella. And you say that can only be the pressure. Pella's calm as he's walking up to the penalty, but gets it horribly wrong. Pulls it, must be about a yard and a half wide of the post.
3 scored, 4 missed so far. Here's the latest penalty for Germany, scored by Julian Draxler. Bottom right hand corner, sent Buffon the wrong way, and Draxler, the 22-year-old, makes no mistake. Proper German penalty that.
That's a great penalty. Again sending Buffon the wrong way, but this time it's inside the post. That's hit with conviction, Connor. Brilliant penalty from Draxler.
2-2 in the penalty shootout. Kroos and Draxler have scored for Germany. Insigne and Barzagli have scored for the Italians. Muller and Ozil have missed. Jaja and Pella have missed. And the next penalty now for Italy. Neuer jumping up and down, bouncing his hands on the crossbar, and he saves from Bonucci. Bonucci, who scored during the regular game from the penalty spot, this time denied by Manuel Neuer. And that is now 5 penalties that have not found the net.
He wins the mind games, Neuer. He goes a different corner this time, Bonucci, from the penalty he took in the first 90 minutes of the game. He comes across Neuer to Neuer's right hand side. It's a strong arm from Neuer. Brilliant save.
And this can win it now. Bastian Schweinsteiger. Short run up to put Germany into the semi-finals against Buffon. Oh, he's missed! He's hoofed it over the top. Schweinsteiger on his 119th cap sends it over the crossbar, and Germany have now missed 3 of these penalties, having only missed 2 in their entire history up until tonight.
That is a shocker, Connor. Spoke about Pella's being a terrible penalty, but that's even worse from Schweinsteiger. That's a good 2-3 foot over the bar.
Oh, so we enter sudden death. 2-2 with 10 penalties taken. Here is Giaccherini, scores! Straight down the middle again. Neuer dived to his right. Giaccherini sent it straight and high and under the crossbar. And it is 3-2 to Italy in sudden death. And the pressure now on Mats Hummels. He must score or Germany are out. This is 5 Live from the BBC. It was 1-1 after 120 minutes. It's been such a dramatic penalty shootout. German fans have not been put through the ringer like this in generations. Mats Hummels stands. Here he comes. Right-footed. Scores! Beyond Buffon. Very good penalty from the German defender.
Oh, the bench are on the pitch there, Connor. They thought that Buffon had saved it. He gets a strong arm to it, diving to his left-hand side there, Buffon. It's not the greatest of penalties from Hummels. I think he feels he should have saved it too, Connor.
It's 3-3, and up steps Marco Parolo of Lazio, who stepped in to the middle of the midfield, the place of Daniele De Rossi this evening. He steps forward for Italy and scores, and again straight down the middle. I just wonder, is Manuel Neuer eventually going to just stand still? Because virtually every kick that's beaten him so far has been down the middle.
Yeah, spot on, Connor. I think the sensing that the Italian players, then, as you said before, they know that Neuer is choosing a side and going for it left or right. He's not standing still in the middle, so you're possibly right with that one.
It's bluff and double bluff and counter bluff. You think, oh yeah, surely he'll think I won't go for the middle now, so I will go for the middle. And forward for Germany comes Joshua Kimmich. Now he's one of the youngest players in the squad. He must score or it's all over. He's up against Buffon. Kimmich, right-footed. Here he comes, scores. What a penalty! Buffon went the right way, but there's no saving that. Powerful and low to the goalkeeper's right. It's 4-4 in the penalty shootout in sudden death.
No, it's great composure. Again, he's looking at Buffon as he strikes towards the ball, but unlike Thomas Muller, where Thomas Muller was looking at Buffon when he struck the ball, he looked at the ball at the last moment and then stroked it calmly into the corner with a little bit of power as well.
Next up for Italy, Mattia De Sciglio. He has never scored an international goal. He now stands in sudden death. He wouldn't have been one of the selected 5. Here he is, right-footed. Oh, what a penalty! Off the underside of the crossbar and into the back of the net. And a huge fist pump towards the Italian fans. And what a relief, because that was taking off. And the underside of the post just cushioned it into the net.
I think all the Italian bench, all the Italian players in the centre circle, they thought that had missed. And fortunately for De Sciglio, it hit the bar and went in. Oh, that was... I don't think my nerves can take any more of this corner. Brilliant though. Excellent.
Next up for Germany is Jerome Boateng. Since it's gone to sudden death, they've all scored. Boateng taking it really quickly and scores. Tell you what, no messing about there. He placed the ball, swung his boot at it, put it beyond Buffon, and it's a goal to make it 5-5 in the penalty shootout. Jerome Boateng. Next up for Italy, Manchester United's Matteo Darmian.
Good penalty though, Connor. Again, as you say, he wasn't messing around. Remember, like that Jamie Carragher penalty a few years ago when he put the ball down, waited for the whistle, took it, but Carragher had to retake it, of course, and we know what happened then.
Well, you said about Neuer might fancy taking one himself. He might have to. 9th penalty for Italy. Matteo Darmian, right-footed, save! Saved by Manuel Neuer. Diving to his left-hand side. The Manchester United man went for accuracy rather than power. He tried to place it in the bottom corner. Matteo Darmian, and Manuel Neuer has saved it. And now Jonas Hector of Cologne has the chance to score and to put Germany into the semi-final.
That was a weak penalty, Connor. Comfortable save for Neuer.
Left-footed penalty. Hector, the left back, scores! Blow beyond Buffon. Germany once again win the penalty shootout. They haven't lost one since 1976. Boy, they wobbled a little bit here, but Jonas Hector kept his nerve. It slithered in low beyond Buffon, who nearly fell on top of it, but it just squeezed beyond the Italian goalkeeper. Italy are out, beaten on penalties by Germany, and it is 6-5 in the end.
It wasn't the greatest of penalty shootouts, Connie, have to be said that, but again it's Germany that prevail. They see themselves over the line. Even the winning penalty there from Hector, it wasn't the best of penalties, and Buffon does get a hand to it in the end, but it beat him. I think it was just the power in the end that just took it under Buffon. He's so unlucky, Buffon, diving to his left. But again, Germany, how did he do it?
Well, I thought we were seeing things there, Dan. Muller missed, Ozil missed, Schweinsteiger missed, but the rest of the German team delivered for their nation, and they now go to Marseille to play either France or Iceland. But that was something to behold.